Welcome to Fantasy Audiobook. Start in Hunter x Hunter. Indestructible, I am the strongest. Chapter 51. Early the next morning, Villa 21 at Chinkora Point. Squeak. Luo. The door of Lin Mo's room was gently pushed open. Lin Mo, who felt someone intruded, woke up from his sleep in an instant. But in the next second, Lin Mo pretended that nothing happened, the corners of his mouth were slightly raised, and he closed his eyes and pretended to sleep. The person who came, tiptoed to Lin Mo's side quietly, and whispered in his mouth, "Huh. Bad master, yesterday he promised to tell Nyan a story, but he didn't tell it. Watch Nyan scare you." Just as Nyan was screaming in Lin Mo's ear, Lin Mo suddenly opened his eyes and looked at her with a smile. Ah. Nyan was so frightened that Lin Mo fell to the ground and let out a pitiful whimper. "Which little one sneaked into someone else's room?" Lin Mo said with a chuckle, looking at the pitiful appearance of Nyan. At this time, Nyan had already got up from the ground, and was caught by Lin Mo on the spot, with an embarrassed blush on his face. "It's not that you are bad, master, yesterday you clearly promised to tell Nyan a story, but the result was you didn't tell Nyan." "Oh, is that so? How do I remember that a lazy pig secretly fell asleep yesterday? That master can wake people up too." Lin Mo couldn't help rubbing Nyan's little head. "That's not good, children have to rest early." As if to protest against Lin Mo and the others, a petite figure in Lin Mo's arms sat up. After Maki sat up, he stared at Nyan with cold eyes for a while, and then said to Lin Mo, "Lin Mo, I'm going to wash up." After that, he went straight to the bathroom in the room. Well, the jealous Maki is cute too. Seeing Maki like this, Lin Mo couldn't help but smile. Since yesterday Maki suddenly said that he wanted to have a room with him, Lin Mo reacted to the fact that Maki was jealous. On weekdays, Maki was so calm and mature that he didn't look like an 11-year-old child at all. Unexpectedly, Nyan's appearance would arouse part of Maki's childish nature. On the other hand, Nyan was a little scared of this cold sister. Seeing this, Lin Mo touched Nyan's little head again to comfort him. "Nyan, don't be afraid, this sister is the master's companion. Don't look at her cold appearance, but it's just because she's afraid of life. After getting to know her, you'll find out that her sister is actually a very good person." 5. "Oh, that's how it is." Nyan nodded somewhat incomprehensibly. Although he didn't quite understand what Lin Mo said, he understood the two words "afraid of life." Because she herself was like this before, there are many strange and fierce-looking bad guys in black suits at home every day. It also took her a long time to gradually adjust to the stranger. Nyan knows. Nyan will definitely help Miss Sister. Nyan's eyes were filled with an inexplicable fighting spirit. Seeing Nyan's fighting spirit, Lin Mo didn't know what Nyan understood, but it should be a good thing. "Well, Nyan is good, the master is going to wash up first, you go and eat breakfast first." "Oh, okay, then hurry up, master." Nyan obediently walked out of the door. After Nyan left, Lin Mo also walked into the bathroom and laughed at Maki Lin Mo, who was brushing his teeth. "Maki, are you eating the vinegar of a 4-year-old girl?" "Humph." Maki neither denied nor admitted, just snorted at Lin Mo. Seeing this, Lin Mo gently stroked Maki's hair, and then said softly, "No need to be jealous, you will always be the most special one, remember. You picked me up." Maki was a little overwhelmed by Lin Mo's sudden gentleness, and after flushing the foam in his mouth, he murmured, "I'm not jealous." Seeing Maki's arrogant appearance, Lin Mo couldn't help but burst out laughing. The gentle movements of his hands also became a little rude, ruffling Maki's hair. Tisk. Maki, who was annoyed by Lin Mo, slapped off Lin Mo's disturbing hand. Lin Mo didn't care, he picked up the mug that Maki gargles with just now and gargles. In itself, Lin Mo does not need to wash. After merging immortal according to Xuanwan's words, he became an innocent body. However, Lin Mo will take a habit of taking a shower after getting up, otherwise he always feels that something is missing. "Lin Mo, isn't your cup over there? Why use mine? Don't care about these details, it's too troublesome to take in the past." After Lin Mo and Maki finished washing up, they were led by a gangster to the restaurant. It seemed that Right Nasla had called back some of his staff overnight last night. After entering the restaurant, Lin Mo found that the rest of the brigade were already here. Not just the brigade, but right Nathra and Nyan. Lin Mo looked at them in surprise. Why are people so crowded all of a sudden? Did you make an appointment? Crollo put down his knife and fork. No, I should say, we are here waiting for you. Wait for us. Why? Lin Mo looked at him suspiciously. Deputy Commander, you won't forget that we still have to get our ID. Nobunaga also stopped his movements and complained. This time Lin Mo reacted. What they asked for was a legal identity certificate, not a fake one. It is estimated that Right Nasla intends to call government officials directly and let them record fingerprint information and the like, so it is best to wait for everyone to get together. Otherwise, it is easy for people to get caught when they stay out for a long time. It doesn't matter if he dies, if the entry is invalid because he is caught, it will be done once, which is very troublesome. In a town where gangs are prevalent, there are not many others and the most hostile forces. There are various forces behind different officials, especially now that Nasra is being targeted by Fanobi. Officials who are backed by Nasra have to act carefully and cannot be caught in the slightest. Yeah, I almost forgot about it. Right Nasla stood up and said respectfully to Lin Mo, since Mr. Lin Mo has already got up, I will now make arrangements for the identification of the adults. As he said that, he gave them a slight salute, then picked up his mobile phone and went out to make a phone call. Because of his father's departure, Nyan seemed a little nervous at this time. He ran to Lin Mo and grabbed his trousers. Seeing this, Lin Mo picked up Nyan. He said gently to Nyan, Nyan, don't be afraid, let me introduce you, these brothers and sisters are the master's partners. Lin Mo, who was holding Nyan, began to introduce everyone in the brigade to her. Remember, this is the older sister you just met, and her name is Maki. Hello, Sister Maki. Nyan shouted to Maki very well. Originally, Maki didn't want Rinyan, but remembered what Lin Mo did to her in the bathroom just now, so he reluctantly said, Seeing Maki like this, Lin Mo smiled silently in his heart. This is already a good start. That little brother with black hair and a bit of his name is Crollo Lucifer, you can just call him Brother Crollo. Crollo looked at Lin Mo in disbelief. Lin Mo, do I look like a mother? Lin Mo looked at Crollo seriously and affirmed, Mother. Ha 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 ha. Everyone couldn't help laughing. Crollo could only shake his head helplessly. Who made you tease me all the time yesterday? Lin Mo's eyes flashed with the pleasure of revenge. Affected by the pleasant atmosphere of Lin Mo and the others, Nyan's tension was instantly relieved by most of them. Next, under Lin Mo's sarcastic introduction and deliberate guidance from time to time, Nyan and the brigade got to know each other. After all, if Nyan wants to become his own disciple, there will inevitably be many places where he will deal with the brigade in the future. Everyone in the brigade also understood this truth, so they also cooperated with Lin Mo very much. Even Faden greeted Nyan. However, what Lin Mo didn't expect the most was that Uvijin was unexpectedly shy. Nyan blushed when he called out to Brother Uvijin. To be honest, this is the first time that Lin Mo has seen Uvijin blush since he has known Uvijin for so long. That's amazing. Hey, Deputy Head, how long do you want to look at me like this? Uvijin, who had been staring at me with strange eyes, roared in anger. I don't want to, but it's really amazing. After saying that, Lin Mo continued to look at Uvijin with magical eyes. Uvijin, who Lin Mo couldn't do, could only throw his anger on the steak on the plate. One more serving. Uvijin faced him fiercely, and the innocent little brother beside him shouted. Ha 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 ha. Looking at Uvijin's aggrieved look, it caused another burst of laughter. After a while, Right Nasra pushed open the door and walked in. My lords, the officials from the government have arrived. If you have finished your meal, then we can go to the living room and enter your identities for you lords. Info 99. Lin Mo wiped his mouth with a napkin. Okay, let's get down to business first. Turning his head very naturally, he cocked Nyan's little head again. Nyan, Master is going to do something, please go back to the room first, and Master will tell you a story later. As soon as he heard that there was a story to listen to, stars flashed in Nyan's eyes. Well, then Nyan is waiting for you in the room, remember to come to Nyan. After finishing speaking, Nyan hopped back to his room, looking like he was in a good mood. Lin Mo keenly felt that not only himself, but also Uvijin and Franklin were laughing at his aunt. Sure enough, does the uncle just like Loli? Lin Mo laughed inwardly. Afterwards, Lin Mo and his party, led by Right Nasla, went to the living room and saw a standard social animal playing with a computer and some equipment for collecting biological information. When the social animal saw Right Northra coming, he bowed to him with some fear. "Mr. Northra, this place is ready." It seems that Right Nasla's means of controlling him is not traditional money. Right Nasla nodded to him coldly. Turning around, he respectfully said to Lin Mo, "Several adults, everything is ready." The social animal showed a panicked look. "Is there anyone in the Nasla family? It seems that I have never heard such news before. By the way, is this something I can know? I won't be silenced, will I?" The first reaction of the social animals in this frightening town is whether they will be silenced because of this. "Don't worry, just do your own thing." As if seeing the worries of the social animals, Lin Mo said. It's not that Lin Mo really has anything to do with him, it's just to prevent him from thinking about mistakes and making things happen for a while. "Ah, yes." The social animal named by Lin Mo quickly calmed down and straightened his body in response. The next process is similar to the previous life, taking pictures, filling in identity information, and entering biometric information such as fingerprints. Of course, since Uvajin and Nobunaga were both illiterate, the information had to be filled out by social animals. The whole process is not complicated to operate, so it is completed quickly. After completing the identity registration, the social animal bowed to them in a panic, then ran away with his belongings without looking back, as if Lin Mo and the others were going to eat him. After the social animal left, Right Nasla still maintained his respect. "Several adults, the ID cards will probably come down tomorrow, please wait patiently during this time." Lin Mo glanced at him. This guy is quite patient. He was able to bear it all down and didn't say a word about Lin Mo's promise to replace the Fanobi family. But forget it, I won't tease him for Nyan's sake. So before that again, who wants to do sports? Lin Mo pointed out. Do sports? What kind of sports do you do in? Uvajin asked with great interest. "Your favorite kind." Lin Mo squinted Uvajin. "My favorite one." "Idiot, what the deputy commander said was to fight." Nobunaga rolled his eyes at Uvajin. "Fight, okay, I want to go." When it comes to fights, Uvajin is no longer sleepy. He didn't even care if he was called an idiot by Nobunaga. Right Nasla on the side had already vaguely sensed what Lin Mo was referring to, and immediately stared at Lin Mo with fiery eyes. "Nasla," Lin Mo called out flatly. "Yes, Lord Lin Mo." Regardless of Right Nasla's character, at least his attitude to work, Lin Mo, is still very useful. "Give me the Fanobi family information." "Okay, Lord Lin Mo, thank you very much." Lord Lin Mo. Saying that, Right Nasla bowed 90 degrees directly to Lin Mo. Then, holding back his fiery heart, he turned around and went to the study where the Fanobi family's information was already prepared. Lin Mo turned his head to look at the people in the brigade. "Sadie, does anyone of you want to go to work? Let me explain in advance that I personally agreed to this matter, so it doesn't matter if I don't go, I won't. Don't mind, it's just a bunch of junk fish anyway." I said, "Deputy head, don't you plan to eat alone?" After hearing Lin Mo's words, Phaeton jumped out and questioned. Although it was doubtful, his attitude was clear at a glance. "That's right, you have a rare opportunity to exercise your muscles and bones, and you want to eat alone." Nobunaga followed by a statement. Crollo touched his chin with a bit of ridicule. "It's rare that you are so energetic, Lin Mo, I want to go see it too." "I don't care, you have to take me with you if there is a fight." Uvajin immediately began to cheat. Although the others didn't say anything, their eyes were filled with the words, "I'm going." A smile appeared on Lin Mo's face. "It seems that my deputy head is doing a good job." After taking the information that Right Nasla handed over, he glanced at it and said, "Okay, although I bullied them a little bit, but since everyone wants to go to work, then let's make a big fuss." He casually threw the Fanobi family's information back to Right Nasla. "It's enough to know that their base camp is there. We will directly destroy their base camp, and you can handle the trivial matters after that." After hurriedly catching it, Right Nasla replied a little excitedly, "Absolutely no problem, as long as their main force is completely wiped out, I believe Bart will be able to complete the rest." "Okay, let's go. I wish you a prosperous Wu Yun." Right Nasra bowed 90 degrees to the back of the brigade leaving. Lin Mo led the brigade out of the door and found that Right Nasla had arranged for a driver and 1 or 2 luxury business vehicles to wait at the door. After the driver bowed respectfully to them, he took the initiative to open the car door for them. By the way, Let Nasla is so talented at licking. In other words, it seems that in the original work, he also used the Nen of Nyan and licking 10 old man to ascend to the top. After this meal, the other members of the brigade had a lot of goodwill towards Right Nasla. After all, who wants to suffer when they can enjoy it? Having someone help you arrange all the chores in your life is indeed a very enjoyable feeling. It's no wonder that all the richest people like to have a housekeeper in their homes. Lin Mo, who was sitting in the car, looked at the speeding scenery outside the window. His eyes flickered and he didn't know what he was thinking. "Captain, what do you think about Right Nasla?" Lin Mo suddenly said without end. Krolo, who was sitting in the back reading a book, was stunned for a moment. Although he didn't know what Lin Mo wanted to say, he still thought for a while and replied, "Well, I think it's pretty good, at least his arrangements are perfect." As this, Lin Mo's mouth curved into a corner, and then he stopped talking. Originally, Lin Mo planned to take Nyan out of the town after the transaction was over, and went to the police's place to have a look. Now, he has a new plan. In the original story of the Zhongyu Kashin incident, the place where the brigade stayed is compelling, but don't you think it's too shabby? Gambi town is just a small town in a remote area, with a total area of less than 1,000 square kilometers. About half an hour later, the driver parked the car at the foot of a hill on the outskirts of Gambi town. The driver turned to Lin Mo and said, "Several adults, vehicles can only drive here recently, and the entire mountain here is the domain of the Fanobi family." "Oh, doesn't a small hill be directly used as a family residence?" "This family called Fanobi, what can I do unexpectedly?" Krolo closed the book in his hand, looked at the forest where several gun-wielding gangsters were interspersed from time to time, and said in surprise, "Yes, this lord, the Fanobi family has been in charge of Gambi town for nearly 60 years, and in these 60 years, the entire family has been almost built into an iron bucket." The driver's voice was a little helpless. It seemed that he should be Nasla's diehard loyalist, otherwise he would not have put any personal feelings into it. "Isn't this better, head? The stronger they are, the more interesting they will be." Uvijin was not frightened at all, but started to gear up excitedly. "I also think that yesterday's warm-up wasn't even considered." Faden's eyes also began to show excitement. "That's right, it's time to test our strength. Then, Lin Mo, what are you going to do? This is your action, isn't it? You can't be lazy about this." Krolo glanced at Lin Mo with some amusing. Having been with Lin Mo for so long, he has a deep understanding of Lin Mo's laziness. In the face of Krolo's ridicule, Lin Mo directly gave him a middle finger. "Okay, the Fanobi family has a relatively large area, so if we act together, it will be very easy to slip through the net, so I suggest that we form a team of 2 to attack from 4 directions at the same time. This Yang can not only hold someone by your side to take care of you in the face of an accident, but also try to catch them all in one go. Do you have any objections?" Lin Mo looked around and saw that no one had any objection and continued. "Then Uvijin, Nobunaga, the 2 of you have always worked together quite well, so the 2 of you formed a team. Franklin, you and Faden have worked together on Meteor Street before, so the 2 of you will also form a team. Then next is Paikanodin, you and the commander's team, and I and Maki's team. Do you have any questions?" After speaking, Lin Mo also winked at Pike Norden. Pike Norden's ears turned a little red and Lin Mo rolled his eyes. Except for Uvijin and Nobunaga who disliked each other, the others did not have any opinion on Lin Mo's team arrangement. "Then, start taking action and kill them all without a single leak." Following Lin Mo's order, all the members of the brigade disappeared from the car like a ghost. The commercial vehicle that was originally parked smoothly on the side of the road began to sway from side to side as if it had been hit by an unknown force. The driver in the car stared at the empty carriage with wide eyes and was a little overwhelmed. Cold sweat began to trickle down the driver's forehead. He guessed that Lin Mo and the others would be very strong, otherwise they wouldn't be so confident that only 8 people would go to the overlord of Gambi town, the Fanobi family's territory. But I didn't expect them to be so strong. The 8 people who were still neat just now, he didn't even see how they got out of the car. I just feel that the eyes are blurred, and then the person disappears. Boss, where did you find these monsters? It's not that they are too strong, it's just that the driver is too weak. In Lin Mo's eyes, the current brigade is still too weak, and with Nian's blessing, they can only barely dodge bullets. But for these gangsters, this kind of strength is enough. On the right, Lin Mo, who was traveling between the mountains and forests, suddenly said something. And Maki, who was following behind him, understood and started to go around to the right. Round. This is the application technique that Lin Mo has maintained since he got out of the car. With his current gas volume of 150,000, it is enough to maintain a radius of about 200 meters. Within a radius of 200 meters, nothing can escape Lin Mo's perception. Therefore, Lin Mo can be said to know the movements of the Fanobi family members like the back of his hand. After entering the forest, Lin Mo began to exercise on Maki intentionally or unintentionally. Once he sensed some escort squads of 3 or 5 people, Lin Mo would let Maki eliminate them all by himself. After all, if you protect it too well, you cannot grow up. Even the brigade that hasn't fully grown up has already been hit by dimensionality reduction in the face of these ordinary gangsters, but they were still discovered, because there is still something called surveillance in this world. Woo woo. The harsh siren began to echo through the mountains and forests. Hurry up. There are intruders. Hurry up and get me a gun, stop dawdling. Feeling the crowd starting to come from all directions, Lin Mo spreads his hands to Maki. Looks like our game is over. Be careful yourself. After that, Maki followed the plan they had negotiated on the road and hid in the tree above. Lin Mo, on the other hand, stayed where he was alone, watching the underworld members who gradually surrounded him. Lin Mo, who was shot at by dozens or hundreds of guns, didn't change in the slightest, and he was still so relaxed and free. After a commotion in the crowd, a cadre who seemed to be the leader squeezed out and looked at Lin Mo fiercely. A face you haven't seen before. You're not a person from Gambi town. Which family did you find to be an enemy of our Fanobi family? Papa, I have good eyesight, I'm not from Gambi town. Lin Mo applauded him and gave him 2 thumbs up. In terms of family, it can barely be regarded as the Nasla family. After all, I have a deal with them. Lin Mo answered his question very honestly. Nasla, hey, they just wanted to teach them a lesson for this group of fools, but I didn't expect that they would dare to resist, and someone would kill them in a while. The cadre who said that without looking back, he got into the crowd. After getting the answer, Lin Mo was no longer in his eyes. He'll turn into a corpse soon anyway. By the way, in order to reward you for saying the answer I want so readily, I won't torture you, just kill it. The last sentence is obviously for this group of hotshots. Yes, boss. Immediately, the muzzle of Lin Mo's gun started spewing fire. Da da da. The golden shells started falling to the ground as they pulled the trigger. Puff puff. The sound of bullets being fired into the body began to ring in the air. Humph. No one can still live after provoking our Fanobi family. What? The cadre named head soon found out that something was wrong. Because the sound of participation actually rang in my ears. He turned his head back in astonishment, wanting to see what happened, whether the gun exploded or what. Unexpectedly, just as he turned his head, bright red covered his eyes, making him a little unclear about the scene in front of him. It was a mixture of blood and brains. After chaos wiped the mixture that covered his eyes, the scene that appeared in front of him made him unbelievable. What about my little brother? What about my hot little brother? Why are you all lying down? I saw, Side, the men in black who were originally for Lin Mo, but now they are all lying on the ground with bullet holes, and only a few lucky ones who were not hit by the bullets can still let out a whimper or two. The blood stained the entire land, turning the originally dark brown soil into a dark red. And Lin Mo still stood spotlessly in place, not moving. Just these toys can't even break his defense. These bullets were shot back by Lin Mo in the blink of an eye. And he deliberately avoided the direction of the cadre. With a wave of his right hand, Lin Mo suddenly disappeared in place, and then appeared in front of the cadre who was still in shock. That's really thank you. Since that's the case, I won't torture you anymore, I'll just send you to death. Lin Mo returned this sentence to him, imitating the plain tone of a cadre. The spatial fluctuation in the hand appeared again, and then it was a slash to the cadre's head. Lin Mo's action finally awakened the cadre and made him recover from the shock. No, as long as he had time to say a word, the cadre was cast by Lin Mo's head disappearing technique. Seeing that Lin Mo's battle was over, Maki also jumped down from the tree and started to make up for those gang members who were not dead yet. Fixing is a good habit she developed when she teamed up with Uvajin Nobunaga on Meteor Street. Let's go, Maki. Under the perception of Lin Mo's circle, the entire Western District had been wiped out by them, and the rest were just the same scattered squads as before. It's a joy to be able to start playing the Maki development game with them again. Stay in a hurry, take your time, they are already within my circle perception range, it's fine. Lin Mo comforted Maki's impatient movements. Just now Fanobi's brigade made Maki a little worried about the rest of the brigade. They don't have the powerful thigh of Lin Mo by their side, and now they are facing so many machine guns, there is a real possibility of accidents. As they got closer to the top, the diameter of the hill also shrank, so now the rest of the brigade began to gradually appear within Lin Mo's range of perception. Although the embarrassment is a bit embarrassing, but generally speaking, there is no danger. It's just that they may need more time to complete the complete extinction. After hearing Lin Mo's words, Maki regained his composure and began to practice his hands at his original pace. Looking at Lin Mo, who was guarding him with a smile on his face not far away, Maki only felt an infinite sense of security in his heart. The movements in his hands also became a bit more ruthless. Only in this way can we live up to Lin Mo's expectations and efforts. Soon, the entire West End was swept away by Maki under Lin Mo's precise strike. And Lin Mo would take Maki from time to time to deal with the rest of the brigade slipping through the net. No way, they have only been in contact with Nian for a few days now, and it is already very good that the two of them can deal with dozens of gangsters armed with machine guns. It's still in an open area full of obstructions, and if it's in a confined space, they'll have to be killed in one encounter. So it's good to be able to win, and it's normal for some fish to slip through the net. However, in order to give them proper self-confidence, Lin Mo didn't let them know about his existence throughout the whole process. It's not that Lin Mo wants to be a nanny or something, but that they are actually here to help Lin Mo. This matter itself is a private transaction between Lin Mo and Nasla. According to reason, they have no obligation to come and help. Therefore, it is normal for them to take appropriate measures for their own sake. As the gangs on the mountain were continuously killed by them, they also changed from fighting and escaping to actively chasing and killing. Coupled with Lin Mo's support in the dark, soon, the entire mountain of gangsters released by the Fanobi family was chased and killed by the brigade. Yo, you are finally here. Wow wow wow, why are everyone so embarrassed? Lin Mo, who was sitting on a reclining chair outside the Hilltop Manor, laughed as he looked at Crollo and his group, who were covered in blood and still wearing colors. Well, the recliner was embodied by Lin Mo. When Maki heard Lin Mo's teasing, he couldn't help but burst out laughing. Maki, who has been by Lin Mo's side, certainly knows what Lin Mo has done. Hearing Maki's laughter, Lin Mo turned his head and gave Maki a mischievous wink. Crollo and the others looked at Lin Mo and Maki, who were clean and comfortable lying on the reclining chair drinking juice, and then looked at their blood stains. I have to be molested by Lin Mo. Immediately, a feeling of wanting to beat Lin Mo came up. However, after considering the gap between the enemy, they decided to give up the idea. Who is as perverted as you? Everyone can only say one word in their hearts. Okay, folks, have the various areas been cleaned up? Crollo stepped forward to ease the atmosphere. Humph, of course, I can kill hundreds of these weaklings at will. Uvajin said proudly. Being turned into a dog by dozens of machine guns is definitely not going to be said. Both he and Nobunaga had reached a consensus that what was being driven to run today was rotten in their stomachs. Seeing that Uvajin had said so, Phaeton did not show weakness. Humph. The light of the firefly dares to compete with the sun and the moon for glory. Unexpectedly, Phaeton actually has the potential to force the king. Just look at Franklin's hesitant appearance, can you make a good confession in advance? Crollo glanced at Lin Mo and said, we've finished cleaning here too. In fact, with Crollo's ingenuity, how could he not have noticed that Lin Mo was wiping their ass for them? The number of people alone is obviously not the same as the number of people who chased them in the first place. From the very beginning, Krollo had estimated the number of people when their group was surrounded, which was actually a bit different from the number of people they killed in the end. Through some clues left by the environment, it is not difficult to find that Lin Mo exists. Just seeing that Lin Mo didn't have anything to say, Krollo didn't mention it. Clap. Lin Mo clapped his hands and drew everyone's eyes to himself. Okay, since everyone has cleaned up their respective areas, it's time for us to meet their bosses. After saying that, Lin Mo took the lead and walked towards the manor calmly. The others also showed a grim smile and followed Lin Mo with murderous aura. There was no one outside the manor at this time. But Lin Mo didn't believe that the Fanobi family would be caught in a hurry. It is estimated that they put all their hands in the manor and waited for them to ambush them. Bump. Lin Mo kicked the gate of the manor and flew in. Sure enough, the Fanobi family had ambushed a considerable number of people in the manor. These monsters are in. Shoot me. A panicked voice came from the second floor of the manor. The next second, gun-wielding gang members emerged from the fence on the second floor of the manor and started firing at the brigade without saying a word. There are even 3 RPGs. Faced with such powerful firepower, Lin Mo smiled softly, and then stood up to block the brigade. Extend your hands to the front. Unlimited spell activate. Different from the default expansion mode in the past, this time the unlimited technique was opened by Lin Mo to a range of more than 10 centimeters away from the body. The entire brigade was directly wrapped up. The limit of Nen itself lies only in the user itself. As long as the power output is increased, the area range can naturally be increased. Bizarre spatial fluctuations continued to appear between the collision of the bullet and the unlimited spell. Circles of unknown transparent ripples began to stir in the air. All bullets, cannonballs, and everything that was shot at Lin Mo were all frozen in the air by the ability of the unlimited spell, and they could not move an inch. Here, no traffic. Monster. What kind of sorcery is this? I can't believe it. Keep firing at me. Hurry up. Destroy him. The initial panic sounded again, and it was a little more frightened than the first time. Waves of gang members alternately shoot at Lin Mo. Even the RPG's grenade has been shot out a full 12 rounds, 4 rounds. It made Lin Mo a little annoyed. I saw Lin Mo turn his hands up and down, and shouted impatiently, "Give it back to you." The bullets and grenades that were originally fixed in the air began to turn their heads one after another, pointing at the crowds on the second floor who were still desperately firing. Seeing this, the group of hotshots upstairs didn't use voice instructions to shoot more frequently, and they didn't even bother to shoot in turns. The 2 groups of people started to fire frantically at the same time. Then, such behavior only adds a few more bullets to themselves. Drink. Words follow the law. Lin Mo gives an order, all things return to peace. First, the gang members in the front row were torn apart by the metal storm of bullets, and then a dozen RPG grenades were bombed. The entire front row of the second floor was directly blasted out, and even the ceiling on the top and the roof began to collapse. The entire space was covered with dust from the fire from the grenade bombardment. Looking at the space where the visibility was only 5 centimeters at most, Lin Mo frowned slightly. Practice. Lin Mo's energy exploded out of his body. A wave of air began to rise from Lin Mo's feet, then suddenly swept away in all directions. In the original work, when Hisoka stopped Gon and the others from entering the 200th floor of the Sky Arena, he used Nant to blow off the hat of the staff lady. From this, it can be seen that just relying on thought itself has a certain impact. All the dirt and dust splashed by the stray bombs were swept away by Lin Mo's 150,000 chi practice, revealing the real scene of the manor's crumbling walls at the moment 8. That looks a lot more comfortable. Looking at the restored vision, Lin Mo nodded with satisfaction. And the people in the brigade behind Lin Mo, watching Lin Mo's series of divine operations, could not help but once again flashed a thought in their hearts. Deputy Head Lin Mo, it's so perverted. I really want to be a pervert. Afterwards, they did not encounter any resistance forces again, and it is estimated that most of the forces were placed in the place just now. It was not until Lin Mo and the others came to a room deep in the manor that they encountered 2 bodyguards guarding the door. There was no need for Lin Mo to take action. The other members of the brigade who had been suffocated by the cannonball behind him for a long time rushed up, and were torn to shreds before they could even react. Without the obstruction of security forces, Lin Mo still raised his foot arrogantly, and directly kicked the door and flew into the house. But this time, the side that flew out was picked up by a seemingly ordinary middle-aged man with one hand, and then waved to the side. Oh, seeing this, Lin Mo subconsciously activated Congeal. The other members of the brigade also focused their energy on their eyes. Under Ning's observation, the middle-aged man's life energy was not lost in the slightest. It is obviously a person with the ability to open mind. In the room at this time, in addition to the middle-aged man who turned on recitation, there were 3 people sitting behind the middle-aged man. One old, one strong, one young. Lin Mo, who has seen the Fanobi family profile, recognizes that they are the real controllers of the Fanobi family whose photo is posted on the first page of the profile. That is, the father of the Fanobi family. It seems that 3 generations of grandparents and grandchildren have gathered here. Eisenhower Fanobi, the eldest old man among the 3, looked at Lin Mo with a gloomy face and they said, "Who the hell are you? Why are you coming to trouble our Fanobi family? Have we offended you or your family or friends before?" Facing Eisenhower Fanobi's questioning, Lin Mo waved his hand casually. No, you have neither offended us nor our family and friends." Halfway through the sentence, Lin Mo paused, remembering that his predecessor was killed by the Fanobi family. But the problem is because they killed Mo, and then he crossed over, so he added with some uncertainty. It doesn't seem right to say that. No matter how you say it, you seem to be able to kill me once. Listening to Lin Mo's words turned upside down, at one point he said he didn't offend him, and at another point he said that Fanobi killed him once. If you killed you, would you still be standing here now? So still in his 20s, Croft Fanobi, who was used to being domineering in Camby Town, couldn't help but scolded. "What the hell are you trying to say, you stinky brat? One time you say you don't offend, and another time you say yes. If you have a problem with your brain, can you go to a doctor before you speak out?" Snapped. Lin Mo was scolded by Croft Fanobi by pointing his nose like this, and the faces of everyone in the brigade were about to darken, but they didn't move. Sitting next to Croft Fanobi, Archibald Fanobi, the current patriarch of the Fanobi family, who had never spoken before and had a serious face, suddenly stood up and raised his hand. It's a slap in the face to his son, Croft Fanobi. The sound of the sound even echoed the entire room. "Idiot," Archibald Fanobi said something coldly to Croft Fanobi. Then he turned his head and showed a kind smile to the brigade. He could vaguely see that Lin Mo should be the leader of this group. "This gentleman, I'm really sorry, I didn't properly teach the dog what etiquette is. If you offend, our Fanobi family will pay a certain amount of compensation." "Oh, that's a good thing to say. It's not bad for someone who can sit on the leader's seat." "Really, what if the compensation I want is his life?" Lin Mo squinted at Archibald Fanobi. "Sir, just kidding, we Fanobi family." "Shish." It's a pity that Lin Mo couldn't listen to it anymore. Before Archibald Fanobi finished speaking, Lin Mo raised his hand in front of him. The next second, he suddenly appeared beside Croft Fanobi. The Fanobi family, who they did not know where they found the Nen, even had time to shrink their pupils. Lin Mo, another stab at Croft Fanobi's head. The target that Lin Mo aimed at this time was not the head, but the neck. Croft Fanobi's neck was cut off without hindrance under Lin Mo's bombing space, leaving a small gap in the middle. Lin Mo picked up Croft Fanobi's fallen head and put it in Archibald Fanobi's arms. And Archibald Fanobi subconsciously stretched out his hands to catch it. "Well, look, I'm not joking," Lin Mo said in a harsh tone in Archibald Fanobi's ear. Looking at his son's wide-eyed, dead head, Archibald Fanobi murmured, "Croft." No matter how much he hates Croft Fanobi, he is still his own son and the legitimate heir to the next generation of the entire Fanobi family. At this moment Archibald Fanobi's endless anger and sadness completely filled his brain, so that he could no longer maintain his own sanity. Looking at Lin Mo, who was still full of indifference, he pulled out the revolver around his waist angrily and shot Lin Mo's handsome face. At the same time, he said to the Nen while shooting, "Jeff, kill them all for me." Facing Archibald Fanobi's firing, Lin Mo just yawned in boredom, and the bullet stopped in the air 3 or 4 centimeters away from Lin Mo. After 6 shots were fired and the bullets were emptied, the original 1 bullet stopped in the air to 6 bullets stopped in the air. Archibald Fonoby looked at Lin Mo with an ugly face, who didn't take himself seriously in front of him. How can there be a monster like you? Oh, this is really rude, don't you know? It's just my reading. Lin Mo replied in an offended tone. And besides that, I can do this, Lin Mo said with a slight twist of his finger. The bullet fixed in midair. As Lin Mo's finger turned his head, he also began to turn the bullet towards Archibald Fonoby, who was holding the gun. Of course, Archibald Fonoby knew about the existence of mind. After all, the ultimate guardian of their home, Jeff is the Nen. Although he already knew of the existence of the magical power of mind, Archibald Fonoby always thought that at best, he could be a little stronger than ordinary people. You can deal with 1 or 2, 10 or 8 armed forces. What about 100, 1,000? Their Fonoby family has developed to this day by means of money, people, and firepower. We don't have much else, but we have more armed forces. Not to mention anything else, the gang members that Lin Mo and the others exterminated on this mountain have already exceeded 500. And that's not counting their other bases. Do you think that the Fonoby family has dominated the entire Camby town for 60 years, and his sphere of influence is only Camby town? It's just that the town of Camby was labeled as uniform by them. They also have business in other areas. The reason why Nasla dared to guarantee that as long as Lin Mo and the others destroyed the Fonoby family's resident, there would be 23 grips to take their place. One is because of the existence of Bart, the strongest incompetent in Gamby town. The second is because once the Fonoby family has no leader, it will inevitably lead to their internal struggle for power. This is something that all family-run gangs cannot avoid. And when there is poor information, take the first step to swallow Fonoby's territory as much as possible, and then take away the firepower stored in Fonoby's station. In this way, the Nothra family can complete the feat of swallowing the elephant. Therefore, in Archibald Fonoby's cognition, the Nen are at most used as security forces or vanguard special forces to assassinate and deal with the leader. Really want to launch its frontal war, rely on manpower and firepower. The so-called dignity is only above the edge of the sword, and the truth is only within the range of the cannon. It can be seen that personal force can only be used to maintain one's own dignity at most, and only enough firepower can make everyone surrender to you. Before meeting Lin Mo, he always thought so. But now, he can only say, how can there be a monster like you, katakana middle dot. Not to mention Archibald Fonoby, the last security force he relied on the other side, Jeff, who was a Nen, was also covered in cold sweat and didn't dare to move. Not to mention fulfilling Archibald Fonoby's orders. Uvajin, Nobunaga, Maki, Krollo, Phaeton, Franklin, and Pike Norden are surrounded by Jeff. Although Jeff can see that the brigade that is still very young should only just start the idea not long ago. Maybe a little bit worse than myself, but not too much. And they themselves were killed from the bloody sea of corpses in Meteor Street, and their aura was much stronger than Jeff's. Whether it is physical, skill or will, Jeff is not superior to a single brigade member. In the battle of the Nen, Nen is the most important, followed by the flesh and skill, and finally the will. The problem is that Jeff has not been able to crush their Nen. At this time, it is like Kahlua can instantly kill the 3 so-called rookie killers in the Sky Arena that have developed Nen. Once Jeff dares to act rashly, the 7 members of the brigade will swarm him and kill him in seconds. At the end of the day, Jeff is just a lucky guy who gets Nen once in a while. If he is strong enough, he doesn't need to nest in a small place like Gamby Town. Wait a moment, Eisenhower Fonoby seemed 10 years older for a moment, and he decided to give up his resistance. Eisenhower Fonoby, as the last head of the Fonoby family, still has the ability to judge the situation at a minimum. Although he was also very angry about the death of his own grandson, so what? Just like the untouchables who were run over by them before, being weak is the original sin. Continuing to go on like this, it will only add 3 corpses, and the Fonoby family will be completely destroyed. What do you want? You must be asking for something. No matter what you want, as long as you can do it, I can satisfy you. Eisenhower Fonoby had a direct showdown, neither intending to bargain nor to make senseless trials. Father, Archibald Farnaby shouted unwillingly. As expected of the old patriarch of the Farnaby family, he is really handsome. Speaking of which, we really want something from you, and you can indeed do it. Lin Mo's tone was a little playful, and he was very sympathetic to now Archie. Boulder Farnaby's bullets didn't even mean to drop them. Please tell me, no matter what your request is, our Farnaby family will try our best to meet your request. Eisenhower Farnaby lowered his head, which had been held up, to show submission. Before that, I have one more thing to deal with first. I hate people trying to shoot me with something. Lin Mo glared hard in the direction of Archibald Farnaby. Stop, Eisenhower Farnaby, who heard Lin Mo's potential meaning, hurriedly shouted. It's a pity that it was too late, or his words could not affect the matter at all. Suspended in front of Lin Mo, he directly penetrated Archibald Farnaby's body with Lin Mo's thoughts. 6 blood flowers bloomed on Archibald Farnaby's chest, forming a perfect circle. Eisenhower Farnaby closed his eyes in grief as he looked at the fallen body of his son. He was worried that the hatred in his eyes would be seen by Lin Mo and the others. His grandson and son were killed one after another in front of him in a short period of time, but he couldn't do anything about it, which was a huge blow to him. But he knows that now is not the time to fall, and he must find a way to take revenge. The words, "beat the enemy," began to surface in Eisenhower Farnaby. If I survive today, I, Eisenhower Farnaby, swear I will make you pay. A trace of resentment flashed past Eisenhower Farnaby, who opened his eyes again, and was then hidden by him, returning to his old-fashioned appearance. Okay, since Your Excellency, you have finished venting, can you tell the old man what exactly you want, Your Excellency? The more resentment in his heart, the more humble Eisenhower Farnaby's attitude towards Lin Mo. The old fox really deserves to be an old fox, not to mention other aspects, it can be called perfect in the control of mood. Oh, I killed all your heirs, don't you hate me? In the face of Lin Mo's nasty question, Eisenhower Farnaby's hand hidden under the table caused the nails to penetrate into the palm of his hand due to his too tight fist. Blood ran down the wound in the palm of his hand and fell on his precious trousers. Don't hate, how is this possible? As long as it is a normal person, it is impossible not to hate it. He can't do it. Lin Mo will really think that he doesn't hate him at all, just to satisfy his morbid bad taste. But Eisenhower Farnaby had to cooperate with Lin Mo's game rules. This deep sense of powerlessness was the first time he had experienced in his 80 years of life. He was so high-spirited back then that he brought an ordinary soprano family that could be seen everywhere in Canby Town to the position of the overlord of Canby Town. It even radiates from Canby Town now. He never thought that he would end up like this when he was old. It can only be said that it is good, but it still has to be repaid. He knew that even if he survived today, he would never be able to take revenge on his own strength. So he can only hope that the legendary First Killer family, beating the Dyke, can help him accomplish this goal. But before that, the first thing to do is to live. So Eisenhower Farnaby took a deep breath and drew a submissive smile on his face. How can it be, although they are our heirs, but our Farnaby family has our own frozen sperm bank, how much does the heir want? How many? So you don't need to worry too much, I have absolutely no resentment towards you, and I even really want to cooperate with you. After all, your kind of force is exactly what our Farnaby family pursues. We will surrender to you and handle all trivial matters for you from today. And you don't need to pay anything, you just need to provide some protection for our Farnaby family. Of course, what you want now, we will also give it with both hands. I don't know what you think, Your Excellency. After Eisenhower Farnaby's words, Lin Mo wanted to applaud her. It's really a perfect set of words to change the subject. Not only did Lin Mo kill his grandson and son in front of him, but he also took it a little with a seemingly reasonable reason. At the same time, a new topic is also thrown, cooperation. Pretending that he really admires Lin Mo and their power, it also shows that he really has no intention of taking revenge. Otherwise, why would you take the initiative to find you? Right. Let Lin Mo start thinking about the pros and cons of cooperation and ignore the hate thing. If it was an ordinary person, it would be really easy to be detoured by Eisenhower Farnaby. Since you're playing this mental game with me, let's play it with you. Lin Mo pretended to follow his train of thought and replied, cooperation. It seems to be very good, but before we can cooperate, you have to give me what I want. Eisenhower Fanobi bowed his head respectfully. Your Excellency, you are willing to listen. Call out. In a flash, Lin Mo suddenly appeared behind Eisenhower Fanobi. This time, it is not using space to move, but pure speed. Lin Mo put his head on Eisenhower Fanobi's shoulder, and whispered in his ear, your life. Puff! Exclamation mark exclamation mark exclamation mark. The hand knife carrying the power of space pierced directly through Eisenhower Fanobi's chest, along with the back of the chair Eisenhower Fanobi was sitting on. Eisenhower Fanobi's eyes widened, and he stared at the hand stretched out from his chest in amazement. Cough. The blood surged uncontrollably, causing it to cough up. He had no idea that Lin Mo didn't play cards according to the formula at all. You came all the way here for your own life. The next second, Eisenhower Fanobi reacted. Lin Mo and the others should be like killers, they were entrusted by someone or a certain force to kill themselves. Eisenhower Fanobi, who got the answer in his heart, no longer suppressed his inner emotions. Resentment occupied his eyes again, staring at Lin Mo's overly young face and cursing. You will also come down to accompany me, with your bad personality, you will definitely come down to accompany me soon, and you will not die. I am waiting for you below. If he is a Nen person, there may be resentment derived from it. It's a pity that he is not, he can only be so unwilling and powerless, just like his son and grandson, fell at the feet of Lin Mo. Ah, the howl of the defeated dog is really unpleasant. In the face of Eisenhower Fanobi's curse, Lin Mo was absolutely hilarious. Will you die? This alone made Lin Mo doubtful, and his vitality was so overwhelming that he didn't even feel the slightest bit about using restrictions and vows. As for Eisenhower Fanobi's statement that he has a bad personality, Lin Mo has no intention of denying it. Since he decided to pursue pleasure in the future, Lin Mo's character is destined to become very bad in the eyes of some people. Maybe even a little bit perverted. In the eyes of other people, Lin Mo is like an angel, warm and selfless. Like Maki and Nyan. Therefore, Lin Mo is destined to be a combination of half angel and half devil. As for becoming an angel or a devil, it all depends on Lin Mo's mood. Such is the power of those who have power. It is also the truth of this world. Arnold, well, since Eisenhower Fanobi is also dead, I'm not ready to be your enemy. After all, the employer is dead, so can I leave? After Lin Mo killed Eisenhower Fanobi, Jeff looked at Lin Mo carefully and said, completely losing the momentum he had when he blocked the door that Lin Mo kicked out with one hand. To be honest, Jeff was relieved to see Eisenhower Fanobi being killed. It would be bad if Lin Mo ended up not working with Eisenhower Fanobi, and Eisenhower Fanobi didn't die, and ordered himself to fight against Lin Mo. If you can escape, it will be fine. But there's no way to escape just by being surrounded by Crollo, let alone Lin Mo who doesn't even know how to move himself. So they can't escape, but they can't escape, and they can't be beaten. Now that Eisenhower Fanobi is dead, it's just enough reason to surrender without being suspected. After all, the employer is dead, so there is really no need for him to avenge the dead employer, and he is not a die-hard. Everyone is just an employment relationship. Seeing Jeff speak, everyone in the brigade looked at Lin Mo intentionally or unintentionally, waiting for his verdict. After all, this action is Lin Mo's action, so of course Lin Mo made up his mind. Remember what I said in the car. Lin Mo looked at Jeff with a gentle smile on his face. I'm talking about one, no, leak, all, kill, light, oh. I'm talking about one, no, leak, all, kill, light, oh. Lin Mo said word by word. Lin Mo's original gentle smile began to turn evil. Angels and demons turn in an instant. Wait. After listening to Lin Mo's words, Jeff's pupils instantly shrank in horror, and he exclaimed. But he just said a word, and was instantly killed by everyone in the brigade. Is this the Nen from the outside world? It feels so weak. Uvajin shook his hand in dissatisfaction. It's just that he's weak. Lin Mo walked over and said. Okay, since the things here are over, we're almost going back. Lin Mo said. Lin Mo stretched. Oh, Lin Mo, don't you plan to take their belongings back? We can be a band of thieves. If we leave like this, our thieves will cry. Crollo walked to Lin Mo's side and said with a joking tone. No, these belongings can be regarded as a test I left for Nasla. Lin Mo said with some flickering in his eyes. Are you taking the test? It looks like Lin Mo. What are you planning? Crollo touched his chin, unable to guess what Lin Mo was thinking. A plan. It can barely be considered, but let's wait for Nothra to pass my test. This is just a random arrangement by Lin Mo, and if it is a plan, it can barely fit. But at this time, Lin Mo didn't plan to explain too much to Crollo, and he didn't know whether Nosla was qualified or not. All this is still unknown. After finishing work, Lin Mo realized part of the medical items. Then, under Maki's skillful operation, the wounds suffered by the brigade in the fight just now were sutured and bandaged. Uvajin and the others wanted to be brave and say that they were fine, and then they slapped the head with a knife from Lin Mo, and in the end they just lay down obediently. During their bandage treatment, Lin Mo made sure to clean up. He turned on the circle again to explore the whole mountain, and in the end, he really caught a lot of fish that slipped through the net. Then the crowd began to evacuate, and the rest of the cleaning work was left to Nothra Side. After going down the mountain, Lin Mo and the others found that Nosla had arranged a large number of people to come to the foot of the mountain. Seeing Lin Mo and the others coming down, all the members of the Nosla family immediately lined up in 2 rows to form a passage. When Lin Mo and the others stepped into the passage, all of them squatted with their thighs at the same time, then put their hands on their thighs, bowed and shouted, "You have worked hard." And Bart also appeared at the end of the passage of the human wall, bowing 90 degrees to them. Behind him is a luxury business car that has opened the door. Seeing this, Lin Mo raised his eyebrows slightly. This Nosla really knows how to lick, even the gangster etiquette of childhood. Although Right Nosla was not present in person, he was probably dealing with the Fanobi family's turf. Everyone in the brigade is not a person who seeks face, but I have to say that they will still feel very useful. They are only in their teens, and their mentality is definitely not as good as when they still experienced various fights in the original book. And at this time, they had just come out of Meteor Street, and they were still curious about the outside world. Lin Mo finally felt the treatment of Kiryu like a horse in a dragon. There is nothing to be ashamed of. Lin Mo and the others all naturally accepted the gift of the Nosla family. Walk through the man-wall passage, then get in the car and leave. It was not until Lin Mo and the others left that the members of the Nosla family stood up, and then began to clean the base camp of the Fanobi family in an orderly manner under the command of Bart. When Lin Mo and the others returned to Villa number 21 in Cape Chinkora, Right Nosla was already at the door to greet them. "Welcome back, my lords. I have prepared a celebration feast for you, and it is a little thought to express my gratitude." Right Nosla's attitude remained completely respectful. Lin Mo patted Right Nosla on the shoulder. "There's no need to thank us, isn't this a deal between us?" Nevertheless, it is her blessing that Konyan can worship under the sect of Lord Lin Mo. No matter how you look at this transaction, we will take advantage of it, so please accept it. Hearing this, Lin Mo did not continue to refuse. "Well, then I will trouble you." "No trouble, it's an honor to serve you all." Saying that, Right Nosla stepped behind everyone in the brigade and followed them into the restaurant. In the restaurant at this time, Nyan was the only one who was bored eating a piece of strawberry cake. Seeing Lin Mo come in, he immediately ran over with his short legs and hugged Lin Mo's thigh. "Master, didn't you say that you will come to Nyan? Are you going to tell Nyan a story?" Forehead. Lin Mo scratched his head a little embarrassedly. "Nyan, the story must be told before going to bed. When Nyan goes to bed at night, will the master tell it to you?" Nyan stretched out his little finger to Lin Mo. "Master, you and Nyan pull the hook." "Okay, Master and Nyan, you pull the hook." Lin Mo was amused by Nyan's childish behavior. He patted Nyan's little head. "Okay, Nyan, let's eat first, we need to eat more to grow up quickly." After finishing Fanobi, Lin Mo has already started to prepare a training plan for Nyan. The current Nyan is still too young, although the original book did not say it, but starting Nan so early, I don't know if it will have any bad influence. So it's better to wait until Nyan has a certain physique, and then turn on reading for him. I'm probably going to cry when I really want to train. Lin Mo thought a little mischievously when he saw Nyan, who happily ran back to eat strawberry cake. Although Lin Mo had assured him, Maki couldn't help but pouted when he saw the interaction between Lin Mo and Nyan. And Nyan, who was eating strawberry cake at the time, seemed to suddenly remember something and put down the fork in his hand. Holding another piece of strawberry cake, he mustered up his courage and carefully touched Maki's side. Why, Maki has always had such a cold attitude when facing unfamiliar people, even children. This strawberry cake is for you to eat, sister, you can eat it, it's delicious. Saying that, Nyan picked up the cake and handed it to Maki. Looking at Maki expectantly. The next day, Lin Mo woke up according to the biological clock he had set. This time, Maki didn't get up by Lin Mo's side. Yesterday, he only felt a sense of crisis because of Lin Mo's attitude towards Nyan. Then it's just the behavior that comes out of the brain. After taking a shower, Lin Mo went straight to the living room. If his feelings are correct, the brigade should face a temporary separation after today. After yesterday's battle with Fanobi, although they didn't say it, Lin Mo could feel their dissatisfaction with their own strength. Especially after seeing Lin Mo's performance in killing the quartet. They came out of Meteor Street with high spirits. Although I don't expect to be as strong as Lin Mo, at least I can't drag Lin Mo back. Moreover, most people have not even developed their abilities, and they also need to try to develop their own abilities in their own way. After coming to the living room, Lin Mo found that they were all gathered here. After seeing Lin Mo come in, Right Nosla held an ID card, a bank card and a mobile phone in both hands, and handed it to Lin Mo respectfully. Lin Mo, this is the ID card that was processed yesterday, and the belongings left by the adults after they attacked the Fanobi family yesterday. I have already converted these belongings into ringworms, and then divided them into 8 parts and deposited them into the bank cards for the adults. There is also a mobile phone here to facilitate the communication between the adults. Lin Mo stared at Right Nosla for a while, then praised, Nosla, you really are quite talented in this area. It's not that Lin Mo is mocking him, Lin Mo is really praising Right Nosla. Being able to lick people comfortably is actually a very powerful talent. At least it can help you reach a height that is difficult for ordinary people to reach in a lifetime. This world is, after all, a world that laughs at the poor but not the prostitutes. In the eyes of others, Right Nosla may be just a clown, a licking dog. But what he pays for one meal is your annual salary. In the face of such a huge gap, can you still laugh at others with peace of mind? Sir Lin Mo has done a good job, and these are the things that should be done. Right Nosla was not complacent at all because of Lin Mo's praise, and his attitude remained humble. Logically speaking, the transaction between him and Lin Mo has ended, and he doesn't need to lick Lin Mo in such a low profile at all. In fact, Right Nosra also had greed yesterday when he faced the huge wealth left by Fanobi. Since Lin Mo and the others neither took it away on the spot, nor did they ask for these properties afterwards. Maybe Lin Mo and the others don't need or despise these mundane things at all. But after receiving the death report of the Fanobi family from his subordinates, he instantly woke up. Or maybe he actually gave birth to a bigger desire. Lin Mo and their power, this time he really felt it. The Fanobi family and the others have already deployed the ultimate killer for gangsters, such as RPG, and they were unable to defeat the 8 miners. Through the surveillance video of the Fanobi family, Nosla can clearly see Lin Mo's god-like ability. In the face of this ability, the number of people is really just a number in front of him. The most important thing is their age. Now that they are so powerful, what about 10 or 20 years from now? Is there anyone else in the world who will be their opponent? If we can cooperate with Lin Mo and the others for a long time, can our Nosla family get out of Gambi? Even the apex of the underworld that dominates the entire world, 10 old men. As soon as this idea was born, it quickly took over Let Nosla's brain. Therefore, Right Nosla will not only return the belongings left by Fanobi to Lin Mo and the others, but also do it perfectly. In terms of strength, he doesn't expect that he can help Lin Mo and the others. In this case, let Lin Mo and the others see their role in the trivial aspects of life. As long as he can become the 10 old men, then even if it is Lin Mo's lifelong licking dog, Right Nosla will not hesitate to do anything. Then Right Nosla asked people to estimate the value of all the property overnight, and exchange them for the corresponding ringni at the maximum valuation, and then divided them into 8 parts and stored them in the 8 bank cards. Okay, Nosra, you go out first, we have some things to discuss. Yes, Lord Lin Mo. Right Nosla respectfully stepped back and left. He didn't say a word about what he wanted. He believed that Lin Mo would have his own judgment. Do your best to obey destiny. Everything he can do has been done to the extreme, and the rest can only be left to God to judge. After Right Nosla left the field, Lin Mo looked at everyone in the brigade. Others are also you look at me, I look at you. Lin Mo smiled and broke the silence. If I'm not mistaken, everyone should think the same thing. Hearing this, Krollo also laughed. Ah, everyone should think the same, we all have to improve each other. Well, originally, my original intention of creating the brigade was not to bind everyone together at all times, but to help each other when faced with goals that cannot be faced alone, so separation is also an inevitable result, isn't it? Also, there are only 8 people in our brigade now, which is 5 people away from the 13 people I envisioned. As the head of the group, I have to start looking for it. Seeing that everyone started talking, Uvajin also grinned. I'm still too weak now, I'm too far behind the deputy head, so I plan to go out and see, sooner or later I will to achieve the power of a nuclear bomb with one punch. Lin Mo looked at Uvajin and pinched his chin. Uvajin, I have a place to recommend you to go and have a look. Uvajin looked at Lin Mo curiously. Where? Sky Arena. Krollo said. Indeed, the compatibility between Sky Arena and Uvajin is really high. When Lin Mo and Krollo said this, Uvajin felt itchy. Captain, Deputy Chief, you guys talk about what this place is. The others were also listening intently. Lin Mo gave Krollo a look, meaning since you know, I won't say it. In the face of Lin Mo's dumping behavior, Krollo could only helplessly smile. Sky Arena is a place known as a holy place by fighting fans around the world, and it also gathers fighters from all over the world. The Sky Arena has 251 floors and a height of 991 meters, making it the 4th tallest building in the world. The tower is full of fighting arenas, and the entire Sky Arena up to the 200th floor is on a 10-floor level. Only those who win can advance to the top. Below the 200th floor, there will be a corresponding bonus for each win. If you win at the 50th floor, you will get about 50,000 yuan, and the following floors will get the corresponding bonus according to the level. When you reach the 100th floor, there will be a bonus of about 1 million yuan. Above the 150th floor, there will be a bonus of more than 10 million yuan. If you win the 190th floor, you will get a bonus of about 200 million yuan. However, the games after the 200th floor are only for the reputation, and there is no prize money. The people you meet below the 200th floor are basically ordinary people who can't read, but once you reach the 200th floor, you will become all Nen people. How about it? Doesn't it feel like a perfect training place for Uvajin? Chapter 61. Fights. Money. Now not only Uvajin, but Maki sat up straight. Seeing Maki's eyes light up, Lin Mo patted his forehead. Almost forgot, Maki seems to have a different kind of obsession with money. In other words, the number in the bank card in your hand is estimated to be more than the Sky Arena that does not go back and forth for a few turns. Then I've decided, the next destination is the Sky Arena, Uvajin said excitedly. Then this place is really good for Uvajin. Yo, Nobunaga, how? Do you want to go with me too? Uvajin bumped Nobunaga with his elbow. Nobunaga raised his eyebrows. I'm not going, I'm going to sharpen my swordsmanship, so I won't go to places like you. Cut people, say the sword, 020. Uvajin dug out a piece of booger and said disdainfully. Like Uvajin, Nobunaga was too lazy to explain more to him. What about you guys? Anyone want to come and see with me? Uvajin turned to look at the others. I don't care, this kind of place is not suitable for me, I don't like to perform for others. Phaeton lost interest when he heard that it was a holy place for fighting fans. Me too, Franklin said. That's just me, I go. Uvajin's words were only halfway through, when Maki interrupted suddenly. Maki, aren't you staying with the deputy head? Uvajin asked subconsciously. Although they are emotional idiots, Maki still knows that he prefers to be with Lin Mo. Everyone else looked at Maki in surprise. Paikanaden looked even more haunted. What about locking up? Why are you all looking at me like this? Our deputy team leader is going to take care of children. I'm not interested in taking children. Maki gave Lin Mo a roll of eyes. It's not that I have any opinion on Nyan, I just don't want to take children with Lin Mo. In response, Lin Mo could only helplessly shrug. Well, he did plan to start training Nyan. Although Phaeton, Nobunaga and the others have no definite destination, they actually have a general idea in their hearts. Pike Nuoden glanced at Crollo and gritted his teeth. Captain, I plan to go with you to find new members. Pikeanoden's words made everyone turn their attention to the past. Pike Nuoden twitched his hair unnaturally. I want to confirm with my own eyes whether the new members have the qualifications to join us, and the head and I are both trait Nen. I think we are developing our abilities. Let us provide inspiration to each other. As expected of you, Pike Norden, there is nothing wrong with that reason. Lin Mo gave Pikeanoden an approving look. As a result, he was stunned by Pikeanoden, which means that if you dare to talk nonsense, you will die. Lin Mo immediately put up 2 fingers interlaced on his mouth, indicating that he was very sensible. And Crollo pondered seriously. Indeed, you and I are both traits Parker, and maybe there is something that can confirm each other. As expected of you, Crollo, still helpless. Since everyone has almost decided where to go, then I have a suggestion to make. Seeing that they had almost made up their minds, Lin Mo clapped his hands and drew everyone's attention back. What do you think of Right Nosla these 2 days? If you feel it, how do you say it? It's very useful. Uvajin struggled for a long time and popped out such a description. It seems to be the case, it's very useful. Nobunaga also thought about it for a long time, and finally had to agree with Uvajin's words. The others also started to nod. If you want to talk about Right Nosla, no one in the brigade would like him. Weak, poor mental quality, can't do anything. But if you say he is useless, it doesn't seem to be. At least he licked it well. The trivial things in life are arranged for you clearly. Crollo looked at Lin Mo, his eyes flickered a little, he seemed to understand what Lin Mo wanted to do. Since you all think he is very useful, let me just say it straight, I plan to develop Nothra into a subordinate organization of our Phantom Brigade, specializing in handling some trivial things for us. What do you think? Lin Mo spoke out his thoughts for the past 2 days. Crollo finally knows what the test Lin Mo was talking about yesterday. After careful consideration, Crollo also thinks this proposal is a good one. If you have Nosra's channel, if you really have any target you want to shoot in the future, maybe you can ask them to help collect data. This will save you a lot of things. But after a while, a question arises. Lin Mo, this proposal is good, but the question is how to ensure his loyalty to Right Nosla. You know, he is not like us. Why should we ensure Right Nosla's loyalty? Lin Mo revealed a sinister smile. If you're not loyal, why don't you just kill him? Commander, you don't think Right Nosla can develop a power beyond our own? Or do you have no confidence in yourselves? Having said that, Lin Mo looked around the people in the brigade. Just relying on him, how could he be our opponent? Everyone showed a disdainful smile. Crollo, who was originally a bit of a horn, was also awakened by Lin Mo. Indeed, they didn't have to ensure Right Nosla's loyalty, they just used Right Nosra. If Right Nosra is disloyal, kill him. Betrayal or betrayal, they did not believe that Right Nosra had access to a power greater than his. If it is true that they are killed because of this, it can only mean that they are nothing more than that. Even if you die, there is nothing to say. Anyway, each of them has already put their own life and death aside. This is the inherent conceit and arrogance of the people of Meteor Street. You're right, Lin Mo, we really don't need to ensure Right Nosla's loyalty, we just need to ensure our own strength. After all, strength will not betray us. Crollo also revealed the same evil smile as Lin Mo. If that's the case, do you want to call Right Nosra in now? Crollo shook his head. Forget it, we'll be ready to leave in a while. Anyway, Lin Mo, you will stay here for a while, so I'll leave this to you. Crollo, I think you just want to be lazy. Lin Mo gave him an angry look. Ha ha ha, Lin Mo, who made you our deputy head? After playing around for a while, Lin Mo and Crollo suddenly stood up in tacit understanding. Seeing this, the others also stood up. Then let's say goodbye for the time being. I hope that when we meet again, everyone can get all kinds of satisfying results. Lin Mo finally looked around at everyone in the brigade. Everyone did not have any sad feelings facing the separation, and their eyes were full of firmness. Although it has only been 10 or 20 days since the establishment of the Phantom Brigade, Linmo can clearly feel that each member has a strong sense of belonging to the brigade. Especially after they came out of Meteor Street. For them who came from Meteor Street, the brigade is actually their home. This may be a commonality of the people of Meteor Street. After all, abandoned by the world, they have no so-called family at all. What can play the role of the so-called family is the members of the team to which they belong. In a place where people eat people like Meteor Street, they can only fully trust when they face team members. Human beings are a group animal after all, and the hearts of each other will be infected with each other. The so-called transmission of positive energy depends on the mutual infection between hearts and hearts. Uvajan's sense of belonging to the brigade, of course, will also infect Linmo. 23 It is also like this that Linmo can empathize with them. Ha 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 ha, deputy head, don't let it go, maybe I'll become stronger than you next time we meet. 33 Uvajan grinned and stretched out a fist at Linmo. Oh, Uvajan, how dare you say it, then we agreed to discuss it next time we meet, how about it? A dangerous light flashed in Linmo's eyes, and he stretched out his fist and collided with Uvajan. It is of course allowed to discuss in the brigade, the reason why the Hisoka card is so strict. Mainly because of Hisoka's perverted and murderous aura, anyone with a discerning eye can see that he is not rushing to learn from each other at all. In the original novel, when Nobunaga and Franklin first appeared on the scene, didn't they also start when they wanted to do it on the road? What is really forbidden is that when the two really have differences, they can be resolved by force. Ha ha ha, okay. Next time the deputy commander, I must break your defense, at least I can touch you. Uvajan's eyes are full of fighting spirit. Break the defense of unlimited spell. Linmo could already imagine how Uvajan would be lying on the ground again and become low air pressure. He didn't want to hurt the child's self-confidence, and patted Uvajan on the shoulder. Then come on. Then Linmo looked back, Phaeton, Nobunaga and Franklin, and found that their eyes were full of fighting spirit when they looked at Linmo. Could it be that the three of them have the same delusions as Uvajan? In this regard, what else can Linmo say, except to send a cheer for each of them? Maki. Finally Linmo turned his gaze to Maki. What? Maki glanced at Linmo. First of all, let me explain, I'm a little more serious about bringing children with you. Halfway through Maki's words, Linmo's thug placed her head and rubbed it lightly, smiling gently. Be careful. Although Linmo has special feelings for Maki, Linmo has never thought about tying Maki to his side. Maki bound, is that still Maki? It will only become an alternative canary. Besides, Maki and Uvajan stayed together, which at least reassured Linmo. Generally speaking, as long as they didn't encounter those current masters, at least their safety could be guaranteed. It just so happened that Maki could take Uvajan to the Sky Arena, otherwise, if Uvajan was alone, Linmo would really doubt whether he could get there. The separation of the brigade made Linmo decide on the development of the next ability. After they left, Linmo was ready to start researching. According to the experience of bombing space, from the characteristics of ability, it shouldn't be too difficult. Seeing that Linmo had no intention of persuading him to stay at all, Maki didn't feel unhappy at all, but laughed instead. I see. This time, Maki didn't pat Linmo's messy hand as usual. Everyone in the brigade looked at each other and smiled, then turned around and walked towards various goals. Looking at the backs of the members of the brigade leaving, it was obvious that they were parting ways, but Linmo didn't feel the slightest sadness. Instead, it is full of fighting spirit and scorching heat, and there is a feeling of swimming dragons into the sea. Okay, it's almost time for me to do my own thing. Linmo murmured. Then turned around and walked towards the depths of the villa. Linmo still has a lot of things waiting for him to deal with, training Nyan, developing Nen, completely incorporating the Nothra family, and the complete mimicry that he had been delaying before. Over the next few days, Linmo first talked to Right Nosra about his plans to develop their Nosra family into a subordinate organization of the Phantom Troop. Basically, it can be summed up in one sentence: you can do whatever the brigade asks you to do. Correspondingly, the brigade will give the Nosra family military support to a certain extent. As for how much, it depends on Linmo's mood. It is such a seemingly unequal treaty, and Right Nosra is also rushing to it. Right Nasla can be described as ecstatic after learning that Lin Mo actually intends to cooperate with them Nasla for a long time. I almost knelt down to Lin Mo and shouted ba ba. The Fanobi family, the behemoth in Right Nasla's eyes, could not last an afternoon under the brigade's hands, and was wiped out by their entire army. Avertisement. As long as you can get such help, what if you become a dog? With the help of this power, sooner or later, I will be able to dominate the apex of the entire underworld. It's like you run a company, you own 100% of the shares before financing, but the company's value is only 1 million. After financing, your stake is only 1% left, but the value of the company becomes 100 billion. At this time, you are holding 1% of the shares, which is much more than your previous 100% shares. At this time, what if it was reduced from being a boss to a part-time job? So Right Nasra agreed without hesitation. About the collaboration with Right Nasla, Lin Mo later spoke to the rest of the brigade on his cell phone. Anyway, when someone wants to move their muscles and bones, they go and play depending on the situation. But to be honest, after officially cooperating with the Nasla family, Lin Mo discovered that Nasla is now weak. There is no one who can fight under the hand. What is Quante is a bunch of talents, who eat, drink, prostitute, gamble, and smoke all 5 poisons. Only one Bart could barely see through. No wonder he took the risk to go to Meteor Street to buy staff. By relying on these people to develop into the scale he is today, Right Nasla can barely be regarded as capable. If it wasn't for Nyan's face and the fact that Right Nasla was really good at licking, Lin Mo really wanted to change to another organization to work with. To keep Right Nasla from bothering him. After thinking about it, Lin Mo finally decided to help Bart open his mind. In this way, at least for now, it should be able to cope with the past. After helping Bart to open his mind, Lin Mo didn't bother him, he threw him some materials about mindfulness and then he just practiced whatever he wanted. The mutilated calendar is about to separate. But don't worry. It will be complete when the calendar gathers again. Juvenile spiders are absorbing nutrients for growth. Under your guidance, spiders will take a different path. Next, there will be a small episode in the family. But for you, it should be just a joke. Enjoy this intermission. You can go to the east to take a look when you are resting. You may meet unexpected people. Master, what's the matter? Nyan has learned divination now, isn't it amazing? Nyan lay on the bed and looked at Lin Mo excitedly. Just now, Lin Mo wanted to find Nyan to prepare for the next training. Unexpectedly, as soon as he walked into Nyan's room, Nyan pulled Lin Mo excitedly, and then asked Lin Mo for some personal information. Lin Mo, who realized that Nyan's ability Angel's automatic notes might have awakened, wrote down his personal information very cooperatively. As a result, after Lin Mo's profile, Nyan instantly became dazed. Under Lin Mo's observation, a green monster composed of chi began to appear above Nyan's right hand holding the pen, and it was controlling Nyan's hand to write something on the paper. When the prophecy poem on the paper was finished, the green monster disappeared instantly. Immediately, Nyan's eyes that were originally indifferent began to regain consciousness. Lin Mo held the prophecy poem in his hand, and he could roughly know what he was talking about in the first half. This is what has happened. And the second half, although I don't know what the so-called family episode is. But whether it's the prophecy poem, or Lin Mo's confidence in his own strength, he doesn't care much. The soldiers will come to block the water and the soil, and now Lin Mo's gas volume is close to 200,000. As long as it's not Netero, he's not afraid of anyone. The only thing Lin Mo cared about was that the prophecy suggested that he could go to the east, and there might be an unexpected harvest. Want to go? Lin Mo's eyes began to flicker. Master, are you listening to Nyan? Seeing that Lin Mo didn't respond for a long time, Nyan shook Lin Mo's arm in dissatisfaction. After recovering, Lin Mo stroked Nyan's little head and praised, "Wow! Nyan is awesome, how did you do it, Nyan? Can you talk to the master?" Indeed, Lin Mo was curious about how Nyan awakened Angel's automatic note. Hearing this, Nyan immediately stood up with his hips on his shoulders and said proudly, "Didn't Nyan like to watch Grandma of the Galaxy these days?" Then, Nyan thought that Grandma of Galaxy was so handsome. Then Nyan paused for a while, and then imitated the voice of Galaxy's grandmother. Fortune-telling is for those who strive to live in the present to create happiness, so I try to only fortune bad things. To do that is to hope that everyone will work hard and not let the divination come true. After speaking, Nyan became a little embarrassed. How is it? Isn't the master handsome? Avertisement. Looking at Nyan's lively appearance, Linmo also smiled. Yes, yes, very handsome. Children are like this. It is easy to talk about one thing and go off topic, and say whatever comes to mind. Then Nyan, how did you do it yourself? At this time, he had to give a certain response along the way, and then give some appropriate guidance. Arno, in the past few days, Nyan has been thinking while sleeping, it would be great if Nyan could also divination, so that Nyan could also help Master and Papa. Then when I woke up today, just give a bu, and Nyan will do it. Nyan tilted her little head, thinking for a long time. She didn't know how to describe the feeling when the ability appeared. That's right, it's just Nyan's bu, and then, if you want to divination, you have to write your name, date of birth and blood type on a piece of paper, and then Nyan can help him divination. Speaking of the back, Nyan is a little anxious. It seems that this feeling is like the ability of Linmo's body, and instinct knows what to do. But he couldn't say it concretely. It should be the information that automatically appeared in his mind when the ability appeared. Linmo picked up the anxious Nyan and comforted. It's okay, the master already knows what it means. You know, Nyan, this is your talent, do you want to make it stronger? Originally, Linmo hadn't figured out how to trick Nyan into training. Now that Nyan's ability is awakened, Linmo has a good excuse to use it to fool Nyan. At present, according to the hints in the prophecy poem, I will experience the episode of family first, and then start traveling eastward, so that there may be someone I want to meet. That is to say, it is not too late to set off after the family episode. If that's the case, then it's better to go at your own pace first. Hearing that the ability can be made stronger, Nyan's eyes lit up instantly. Nyan was already quite interested in this ability that just came out. Okay, Nyan wants to make his abilities even more powerful. Well, starting from tomorrow, the master will formally train Nyan. Nyan, you have to think about it, once you start training, you can't stop at will. When Linmo spoke, it seemed as if there was a demon's tail fluttering in the air behind him. And Nyan didn't realize what she was about to face at this time. She just patted her chest and agreed. Master, don't worry, Nyan is a capable person. Nyan is very powerful now. Then we pull the hook. Linmo stretched out his tail finger. Okay, let's pull the hook. Nyan also stretched out his little tail finger confidently. Woo, Master, Nyan regrets it. Nyan doesn't want to exercise anymore. It's over. The next morning, Nyan's pitiful whimper echoed in the backyard of the villa. Linmo, on the reclining chair next to him, was drinking milk tea while watching Nyan, who was constantly doing physical training on various equipment. No, Nyan, didn't we pull the tick yesterday? And after completing this set, how about the master let you eat another bag of snacks just now? Linmo looked at Nyan's crying face, and his tone was full of temptation. Nyan, who had stopped moving, heard Linmo's words, and his little face suddenly became a little tangled. Although the training is difficult, the snacks brought out by the master are really delicious. After struggling for a long time, Nyan's eyes widened. Woo! Master villain, will seduce Nyan. Then Nyan continued to cry and start to move again. Ha 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 ha. Although I had agreed with Nyan yesterday, I can't give up halfway when exercising. But the problem is that cheating is the prerogative of children. So Linmo has to come up with something to lure Nyan. If Nyan was a boy, it would have taken so much trouble. If you are not obedient, you will be obedient. But facing Nyan, such a cute little loli, Linmo really can't do it. In the end, Linmo thought about it for a long time and decided to take out some toys and snacks from his previous life and try it out. Unexpectedly, it turned out to be unexpectedly useful to Nyan. Just as Linmo was lying on the reclining chair with a smile on his face and watching Nyan exercising, Right Nosla suddenly came to the backyard with a dignified face. Watching Linmo really train Nyan, Right Nosla just stood aside very wisely, and didn't come forward to disturb him without authorization. Nasla, come here. Nasla has not taken the initiative to come to Linmo for a long time since Linmo helped Bart start reading. It's not that he doesn't want to get closer to Linmo, but he can see that Linmo doesn't like him to disturb him. In the past, right, Nasla didn't dare to send Bart out because he was afraid that the hostile forces would attack Bart while he was out on a mission. And how could the Nasla family's wine bags and rice bags have any actual combat effectiveness? If someone really wants to be knocked on the door, is that barbecue? But now it is different. Not to mention that after incorporating a part of the Fanobi family, the quality of Nasla's members has risen by 020 levels. Just because Linmo has been sitting here all the time, right, Nasla is not afraid of being called by others. He even wanted the other party to call. Linmo looked at his dignified face, and it was estimated that there was some obstacle in the expansion of the gang that even Bart couldn't solve. I wonder if it could be the so-called episode mentioned in the prophecy poem. Linmo, you may need to trouble you this time. After walking up, right, Nasla gave Linmo a slight salute, and said with a heavy face. Did something happen to Bart? Or is there a force of Nen people in the surrounding area? Let right Nasla come to the door. Linmo guessed it was just these two reasons. And it is very likely that these two reasons occur at the same time. Sure enough, then right Nasla's words confirmed Linmo's guess. Sir Linmo, the situation is like this. The Fanobi family that was destroyed by you and your partner actually left an illegitimate child outside, and then sent him to the subordinate forces of the Fanobi family. Now, this illegitimate child has received part of the secret legacy of the Fanobi family, and from nowhere has hired a team of Nen mercenaries who are now taking revenge on us. Bart faced them, and he was severely injured by them in a single encounter. If he hadn't had a very rich experience of escaping, he probably wouldn't have escaped alive. Now, relying on our Nasra's strength alone, it is really impossible to compete with it. If there is no other way, I can only disturb your rest, Lord, and ask your Lord to help our Nasra family. 5. Saying that, Leet Nasla bowed 90 degrees to Linmo again. Oh, Nen mercenaries. Linmo touched his chin with interest. Could the so-called episode be them? 2 billion, Linmo said suddenly. 2 billion rennies, I allow you to give them to me after your Nasla family receives their inheritance. Linmo added in an irrefutable tone. To let him shoot, certainly not free. Nasla usually helps Linmo to deal with the trivial matters of life. Linmo has already paid, that is, to help Bart. Now that right Nasla wants Linmo to do it himself, then Linmo will refer to the approximate quotations of the enemy and give a price. Facing Linmo's offer, right Nasla agreed without any intention of bargaining. No problem, thanks to Lord Linmo for taking the initiative personally, and also very grateful to Lord Linmo for allowing our Nasla family to settle the settlement after accepting the other party's property. That's right, Linmo has already given right Nasla a good deal. Unlike beating the enemy, Linmo not only wants to kill the opponent's leader, but also completely destroy the opponent's armed forces at the same time. Just like the Fanobi family at the time. The price of only 2 billion Side is already a discount given because right Nasla usually licks him comfortably. Not to mention even allowing Nasra to pay after the fact. Linmo waved his hand. Okay, you're welcome, just keep it in your heart. Then Linmo manifested a trident kunai in his hand, and his thoughts condensed in a flash. The white bandage originally wrapped around the handle of kunai was immediately printed with a line of black runes. After finishing everything, Linmo handed the kunai to right Nasla and said, you will have someone take this kunai to that guy's base tomorrow. If you can't get in, take this kunai. Kunai was thrown to the nearest place to the base camp. Just text me when you're done, you know. That's right, this is the new ability that Linmo has developed during this time. The art of flying thunder god. The main reason for developing this ability is actually because of Maki. Although Linmo didn't say it, he was actually a little worried about Maki's safety when he was out alone. In order to make it easier to get to Maki's side in time when Maki is in danger, Linmo started to develop this ability non-stop after the brigade left. The technique of Flying Thunder God is an S-level space ninjutsu developed by the second-generation Hokage Senju Tobirama in Naruto. Its function is to use the spell to achieve the effect of teleportation. The caster will leave the Flying Thunder God spell on the target in advance, so that the caster or the object that is in indirect contact with the caster chakra can be teleported and the mark will have remained. The caster can even redirect large targets multiple times when energetic. This technique can be used to attack, shorten the distance of long-range ninjutsu, disrupt, surprise opponents, and divert targets, and can also be used to evade and escape in critical situations. No end seal is required to activate. It is quite a versatile ability. Although in the short-range movement and attack, Linmo already has bombing space. But bombing space doesn't allow Linmo to achieve long-distance movement. So the power makes up for this defect, and the first thing Linmo thinks of is the technique of Flying Thunder God. Then refer to the technique of Flying Thunder God in Hokage to develop his own nen, the technique of Flying Thunder God. The Flying Thunder God technique developed by Linmo is similar in principle and effect to the Flying Thunder God technique in Hokage. Just need Linmo to use the mind to engrave the Flying Thunder God on the medium in advance. Fortunately, Linmo also bought small hobbies around him in his previous life, so he can directly use material realization to materialize it. Otherwise, Nasra can only send someone to customize a trident kunai for Linmo. Although it is said that the medium can be anything, but the trident of Namikaze Minato can't stand it is Kuushui. After Linmo developed the Flying Thunder God technique, he immediately sent a courier to Uvajin and Maki who were in the sky arena. Immediately loaded with 2 Flying Thunder God kunai. And it comes with attachment, telling them that they must encounter the danger of being invincible, and immediately activate the above runes with mind. In this way, Linmo can sense it for the first time, and instantly move to their side through the rune engraving. As for the others, since they themselves do not have a fixed place to stay, Linmo did not send them to others. Although Right Nasla didn't know much about the Flying Thunder God kuna that Linmo gave him, he still held it with both hands respectfully. At least one thing Right Nasra knew. That is, the world of the Nen can't be handled with common sense, and he only needs to follow Linmo's instructions clearly. There is no need to ask so many other things. In fact, after learning that Nen people can forcibly open mind for non-Nen people, Right Nasla also wants to be a Nen. As a result, Linmo took a look at him and directly judged that if he was forced to turn on mind like Bart, Right Nasla would most likely die. Unless he can go through special training from now on. In the original book, Yungu mentioned before forcing the activation of mind for Gon and Kahlua, and it requires qualification to force the activation of the mind. And describe their practice already pretty good. Therefore, unless Right Nasla can complete certain special training, if he is forced to turn on reading, it will only be a dead end. At the beginning, Right Nasla wanted to try the special training. As a result, before half an hour, he resolutely gave up out of breath. Neither has the talent like Nyan, nor can't bear the pain of exercise. So it can only be done. Okay, I will arrange it according to Lord Linmo's request, so that we will not continue to disturb Lord Linmo. Linmo waved his hand. Okay, then you go down first. Yes, Lord Linmo. After saying that, Right Nasla backed away, withdrew to a certain distance from Linmo, and then turned back to the villa. After Right Nasla left, Linmo appeared in his hand with a Flying Thunder God kunai in his hands. Looking at the Flying Thunder God kunai in his hand, Linmo murmured thoughtfully, "Calculate the time, the courier should be almost there." At this time, it was far away in the sky arena in the Republic of Bodokia. In this fighting arena where only the victor can advance, an average of 4,000 people challenge higher levels every day. Here are countless fighters chasing after them, for the sake of fame, for profit, or simply wanting to fight against various masters to prove their martial arts. High-level fighters can even own an entire floor. Whatever the reason, there are a lot of fighters gathered here at all times. Some people became famous here, and some people were beaten to death here on the ring. Violence, blood, profit. This makes it one of the most famous gold-burning caves in the world. More than 1 billion spectators enter the venue every year, and the venue has all kinds of facilities. The amount involved in the daily gambling here is astronomical, and the bonuses given to the players are just a drop in the bucket. At this moment, Maki and Uvajin are waiting for the notification of the next fight in the player lounge on the 80th floor. The fighters who can come to this level basically have no brains, although after seeing Maki, a look of surprise appeared on his face. However, no one was stubborn to come up to provoke, and each of the players who reached the 80th floor went to the 100th floor and took them to the private room of the Sky Arena. No one will do anything without interest. What's more, there is a Uvijin next to Maki who is very difficult to mess with. Excuse me, is Ms. Maki there? A Sky Arena staff member shouted from outside the lounge door with a small package in hand. Yes, Maki's cold voice sounded in front of the staff. After seeing someone reply, the staff raised their heads looking at the label information of the package. However, there was no one in front of the staff. He blinked in confusion. Below, this time Maki's voice had a hint of murder in his voice. The staff hurriedly looked down and saw Maki staring at him like a knife. Ah, this is a package for you. The staff obviously didn't expect a little girl to appear on the 80th floor. However, Maki didn't care about his apology at all, and after wrapping it up coldly, he sat back next to Uvijin. Oh Maki, is that the package that the deputy commander said before? Uvijin asked curiously when Maki came back with the package. Maki nodded flatly. It should be, no one will send me a package except him. Lin Mo had sent a text message to Maki on his mobile phone before sending the courier, so Maki knew that Lin Mo had sent something to her and Uvijin. It's just something. Lin Mo didn't say it in the text message. Just as Maki was about to unpack the package, the announcement suddenly came, Mr. Uvijin, Mr. Aubert, please come to the B ring on the 86th floor. Maki glanced at the horn. Uvijin, it looks like you started first. Ah, I'll wait for you in the lobby on the 90th floor. Then I'll see what the deputy head sent me. Uvijin grinned and stood up. At the same time, on the other side of the lounge, a bald man who only wore underwear and looked like a wrestler also stood up. He should be the other guy mentioned on the radio, Aubert. Uvijin just glanced at him, and said with some disdain, it's boring, and it's trash again. Uvijin said this without any scruples. He was there himself, and the voice spread directly throughout the lounge. Others looked at Aubert with weird eyes, and they meant to say, can you bear this? Aubert, who couldn't hide from the sight, could only bite the bullet and choke back, humph. Who can't talk big, I'll let you see who is the trash in a while. To be honest, Aubert didn't really want to mess with Uvijin. The reckless aura on Uvijin's body was too strong, it was like a human-shaped beast. From the moment he saw Uvijin stand up, Aubert had a hunch that he was going to die. I have even made a plan in my heart to test it a little, and if it goes wrong, I will surrender immediately. This can at least ensure that he will not be too serious, or even affect his physical condition. Otherwise, it will seriously slow down the state of replaying in the next round. Unexpectedly, under the instigation of everyone's eyes, he actually said the provocative words. At this time, Aubert was thinking for a while whether he should surrender as soon as he entered the ring. But, now that he has reached the 80th floor, he is still 2 games away from reaching the 100th floor, and he will be able to obtain a private room in the Sky Arena right away. No matter how you think about it, it makes you unhappy. Hearing Aubert's provocation, Uvijin not only did not get angry, but grinned. You know what, I like a lifeless idiot like you the most. Murderous aura emanated from Uvijin uncontrollably. Did he really want to kill me? Sky Arena, Ring B on the 86th floor. At this time, the arena was already full of spectators who came to watch the game. This is the influence of the Sky Arena. Just an ordinary game below the 100th floor can make the audience basically full. Everyone, keep you waiting. The MC on the edge of the ring began to make the opening remarks with a voice full of excitement. The MCs of the Sky Arena are all specially trained, and all of them are very good at arousing the audience's mood with the difference in the tone changes in their voices. Sometimes excited, sometimes nervous, sometimes amazed. Anyway, after the game they explained, even 2 pigs fighting can make you feel very exciting. In the next match, both sides are super heavyweights weighing more than 180 kilograms, and both of them performed well on the first floor and jumped directly to the 50th floor. Now let me, 020, look at the big screen, and the big screen will broadcast the previous battle between the 2. Uvijin's shot is as heavy as Mount Tai. With a straight punch from his right hand, the opponent is blown away. As for Aubert's wrestling skills, he displayed excellent wrestling skills, and his wrestling skills were superb, and he directly threw an opponent of the same size to the ground and vomited blood. The general performance of the two players is like this, so everyone, are you ready to bet? Press the button now. As the voice of the MC fell, the audience in the venue began to place their bets one after another. On the big screen, the odds for Uvijin and Aubert began to jump. The result that finally stabilized was that Aubert lost 1.57 to 1. And Uvijin is 2.08 to 1. After the result was stable, the excited voice of the MC sounded again, oh. The result of the bet is. Aubert is even more optimistic. Is it because of Aubert's wrestling skills that people have more confidence in Aubert? Although Uvijin doesn't care too much about whether he is not favored by this group of audiences, but they actually think that Aubert is better than himself. This is unbearable. Looking at Aubert's murderousness a little bit more. This round will be played in 3 minutes, 3 rounds, and a point knockdown system. Finally, after the MC announced the competition system of the game, the referees in the ring each glanced at Uvijin and Aubert. Hands quickly interlaced. Go. As soon as the words fell, Uvijin was like a heavy tank, rushing towards Aubert with a bloodthirsty smile on his face. An astonishing sense of oppression rushed towards Aubert. Feeling the terrifying aura emanating from Uvijin's body, Aubert was so frightened that his face turned pale, and cold sweat began to appear from his forehead. Wait, I vote. Aubert looked at Uvijin, who was getting closer, and instinctively stretched his hands forward in a refusal trend. However, it was too late, and Uvijin had no intention of listening to him at all. A straight punch from his right hand bounced off Aubert's hands directly and slammed straight into his chest. Crack! A crisp sternum cracking sounded in the ring, and then the force began to spread to the ribs next to it. Ribs, which were originally hard, became extremely fragile before Uvijin's ruthless power. One by one they began to shatter. Aubert's entire chest cavity was completely dented by the punch, and his huge body flew out of the ring like a rag. It was heavily embedded in the wall around the ring. Critical hit. Excellent attack, plus 2 points. No, Aubert is dead. The referee instinctively began to judge Uvijin's hitting score, and when he looked back at Aubert, he had already found that Aubert had rolled his eyes and lowered his head weakly. In addition, there was a large-scale collapse in the chest cavity, and it was obviously no longer possible. So I immediately changed my mind, a little bit panicked. Looking at Uvijin with a monster look, the Uvijin player wins. Then handed the ticket for victory. As soon as the results came out, the noise in the audience immediately began to rise and fall. Amazing, Uvijin, that's it, punch him to death. Waste Aubert, it's a fart to grow so big. It's over. Just bought all that rubbish from Aubert. The audience who had just made a bet on Aubert began to regret their blindness. And the audience who bet on Uvijin began to revel, and Uvijin's odds were much higher than Aubert. The incompatibility of joys and sorrows of human nature is revealed here. And the master of ceremonies also began to shout at the right time. Uvijin beat his opponent with 1 punch again. This is Uvijin's 5th consecutive win without injury in the past 3 days. One Punch Man Uvijin. How far can he get to the rapidly rising score? Who can stop him? After Uvijin found the bill handed over by the referee, he glanced at Aubert's body with no interest. Thank you, I thought you were brave, but you didn't even dare to resist. It's really boring. Then he turned around and left the arena. Fortunately, Krollo had told Uvijin before that the real masters were after the 200th floor. Otherwise, Uvijin might really want to leave. In the past 3 days and 5 matches, the opponents he encountered were all rubbish. Uvijin, holding the ticket, went up to the 90th floor and saw Maki coming out of the elevator just after redeeming the bonus. Yo, Maki, you're done too. Uvijin greeted Maki and handed the bonus he just exchanged to Maki. He couldn't understand why Maki wanted so many rennies. If there was something he wanted, wouldn't it be better to force him directly? They are thieves, aren't they? Anyway, he doesn't need Jenny, so if Maki wants it, give it to her. Maki took Uvijin's prize very naturally, counted it, and nodded with satisfaction. Although it is still not much, the bonus of each layer is indeed increasing exponentially. Handily, Maki handed one of the 2 Flying Thunder God Kunai in his hand to Uvijin. This is what Lin Mo delivered. Uvijin took the Flying Thunder God Kunai, played with it for a while, and asked, "What is this for? Is it a weapon? The deputy commander should know that I don't like using weapons." Hearing Uvijin's question, Maki originally wanted to give the letter to Uvajin, but on second thought, Uvajin didn't seem to know very few words with, so he gave up. Anyway, when you are in danger of being invincible, just inject thoughts into this thing, and then Linmo will appear here. After summarizing the contents of the letter, Maki explained it to Uvajin. Oh, so, it should be the ability newly researched by the deputy commander. Are you worried that we will be in danger when we are placed on the order? The deputy commander is as reliable as ever. After listening to Maki's words, Uvajin reacted instantly, and Linmo developed a new ability. Anyway, he's used to Linmo coming up with a new ability from time to time, so he won't make a fuss anymore. Yeah, he's always been reliable. Maki looked at the kunai in his hand, and a gentle smile formed on the corner of his mouth. Filton Town. This is one of the towns near Meteor Street, which may be slightly less prosperous than the Camby town where Linmo is now. But he has an advantage that Camby town does not have, and that is the port. The Fanobi family had dominated the entire Gamby town for 60 years, and of course its power would not be limited to just one place in Gamby town. In fact, the power of the Fanobi family radiated to all the towns adjacent to Meteor Street. It's just that they can't be uniform in these towns. The more remote the area is, the more xenophobic it is actually. Whenever the Fanobi family wants to develop further, all the local forces will put aside their past grievances and attack the Fanobi family together. And a single Fanobi family is obviously unable to fight against all forces. They're not that strong yet. So in desperation, they can only give up the idea of continuing to develop. We can only compromise and choose a local force in each town to support it, develop it into a subordinate force, and command it remotely, so as to get a share of the pie. These subordinate organizations themselves have no feelings for the Fanobi family, and everything is just for profit. They were all supported by the Fanobi family at the beginning, and according to the contract, they had to provide a part of the benefits to the Fanobi family every year. Otherwise, the Fanobi family can justifiably attack them, and other forces must not obstruct them. Under the situation that they are stronger than others, these subordinate organizations can only obediently follow the terms of the contract, and obediently give away their hard-earned money every year. Of course, when these forces encounter difficulties, the Fanobi family must also help. It's just that 60 years have passed, and the distribution of forces has long since stabilized. If some new forces want to rise and attack them, they can cope with their strength alone, and they don't need the help of the Fanobi family at all. Therefore, long ago, it has become that their subordinate organizations unconditionally paid tribute to the Fanobi family. Now that the Fanobi family was wiped out by the Phantom Troop, it was like a Chinese New Year for their subordinate organizations. How could it be possible to go back and avenge the Fanobi family? If the Phantom Brigade appeared in front of them, they would all want to hug the brigade and kiss them, and then they would become half-brothers. However, it is in these subordinate organizations that there is an anomaly. That is the Evans family entrenched in Filton Town. The head of the Evans family today is actually Eisenhower Fanobi, the illegitimate son of the previous generation Fanobi family patriarch. That year, Eisenhower Fanobi met the eldest daughter of the Evans family, who was already a subsidiary of the Fanobi family at a cocktail party, Senior Evans. Originally, this was just a normal one-time emotional exchange, but what Eisenhower Fanobi didn't expect was that he had one shot, and Senior Evans was pregnant. Eisenhower Fanobi's wife at the time was the daughter of the mayor of Camby, so it was obviously impossible for Eisenhower Fanobi to marry Senior Evans. However, due to male psychology, Eisenhower Fanobi could not order Senior Evans to abort the child in his womb. Thus, Francis Evans was born as the illegitimate son of Eisenhower Fanobi. Unlike some illegitimate sons with hatred, Francis Evans admired Eisenhower Fanobi, who brought the Fanobi family to such a high position from an early age. Even Eisenhower Fanobi is his idol. In the face of such admiration for his son, Eisenhower Fanobi would certainly love him a little more, even if it was an illegitimate child. In the end, Eisenhower Fanobi even made him the head of the Evans family. Whether it is merit or interest, as long as Eisenhower Fanobi is there, then Francis Evans can easily crush other candidates for the patriarch. Francis Evans felt like the sky was falling when he learned that the Fanobi family was destroyed by a new organization, the Nasra family. He has the intention to take revenge, but even the stronger Fanobi family has been destroyed by it, how can his own Evans family have the ability to deal with each other? Just as Francis Evans was engulfed in fear and hatred, a Fonobi family fund from overseas gave him renewed hope. Eisenhower Fonobi, who can bring an ordinary gangster like Fonobi to the surrounding hegemon, of course knows that eggs cannot be put in one basket. Therefore, as early as several decades, part of the income will be transferred to family funds established on other continents every year. Once the Fonobi family suffers a major disaster, the fund will be activated, and the right of use will be granted according to the order of heirs. Now that the entire Fonobi family is left with a man like Francis Evans, the right to use the family fund of course falls on his head. After getting the family fund, Francis Evans immediately began to plan how to get revenge. Knowing that Light can't take revenge with the power of their remote area, after all, the previous Fonobi was already the ceiling of force in this area. In this way, it can be easily destroyed by the opponent. That is to say, no matter how much force is developed in this area, there is no way to get revenge. So we can only look for armed forces from outside. Francis Evans was acutely aware that the company that managed his family's fund might be a springboard that could help him connect with outside forces. So he followed this line, spent a huge amount of money, and after connecting with layers, he finally found the legendary Dark Intermediary. Then a mercenary team composed of Nen was hired through the Dark Agency. Boss, Adam and the others are playing downstairs again. Is it really the reincarnation of a stinky ghost? Haven't seen a female for hundreds of years or what? On this day, Francis Evans' deputy ran to talk to Francis Evans again. Evans complained. Since the Adam Mercenary Corps was hired, except for one shot, they really don't do anything every day, so they know how to play games every day. There are only 7 people, but more than 50 people are needed to help them do warm-up exercises. I am not afraid that I will die so suddenly that day. If you say they are warming up, let's warm up, and even openly warm up in the hall. The warm-up shouts are in full swing, noisy every day. How can your little brother be able to stand it like this? Francis Evans also pressed his temples with some headache. It wasn't that he didn't want Adam and the others to attack Nasla, but the problem was that the share of the family funds that could be controlled by him had already been spent by himself. The rest will either be automatically unblocked after 10 years, or he dies and is used as a revenge fund. Anyway, he can't move now. Most of the funds he could control before were used to find the Dark Intermediary, and the remaining money was only enough to hire Adam and the others to act as guards and could not let them help him take the initiative to attack the past. As a result, Francis Evans is also very passive now, and he can only keep trying to lure the people of the Nasla family to attack. Just bear with it. I've been thinking of a way to seduce them from Nasla and call them over. He also knew that the people under his command were complaining about Adam and the others recently, so he could only try his best to appease them. However, just as Francis Evans and the others were having a headache upstairs and how to appease the younger brother below, one of the Adams mercenary regiment in the hall had his eyes widened, and a member who was obviously visually impaired suddenly stopped exercising. Raising his head to face him, sitting on the central sofa, a blond man with 020 hands on each side said, "Boss, there's a little mouse at the door." The blond man, that is, the head of Adam's mercenary group, Adam. Adam pulled his face out of the arms of a certain young lady and glanced at the cataract. Really? Did the other party come in by mistake or for another purpose? It shouldn't be an ordinary person, but if you want to say that you don't have a purpose, the other party is just one person, and it's a little hard to tell. Cataract replied after being silent for a while. Adam rolled his eyes, then raised his right foot and kicked the other player on the right who was excitedly driving. "Jack, stop playing, go and kill that little mouse." Hearing his boss's order, Jack could only stand up helplessly and complain, "Boss, I'm almost healed, so you have to call me up." But it was only a complaint. He still obediently picked up a sniper gun next to him. Without clothes on, he walked upstairs naked and proud. On the other side, Suri on the periphery of Evans Manor was also looking at the flying thunder god Kanai with a puzzled expression. He had just driven from Camby to the outermost area of Evans Manor. This is the limit he can get close to. As you approach, you will meet the guards of the Evans family. "Boss, are you really right? Just throw this thing in there." Although Right Nasla had already told him to throw Faylation Kuei in before he set off. But when it was really going to be implemented, Sari was still a little puzzled. This thing is just an ordinary iron product. Forget it, why bother with so much, anyway, just do what the boss says. When Sari was about to raise his hand and throw it in. Boom. When Sari was about to raise his hand and throw it in. Boom. There was a loud noise from the attic of Evan's manor. In the next second, Sari's entire upper body was completely blown to pieces, as if he was hit by a cannonball, and all kinds of fragmented flesh and blood tissue splashed out in the air. Boom. After smashing Sari to pieces, the bullet didn't stop at all, and the vehicle that Sari was in also exploded. The fire began to spread on the roadside. Jack, who was in the attic of Evan's manor, looked at his masterpiece and climbed up from the ground with satisfaction. After casually putting the sniper gun on the ground on the shoulder of resistance, he grabbed a few under him and muttered while going downstairs. While I still have the feeling, I have to go down and continue. However, what he didn't notice was that a trident was blown up by the shock wave of the explosion, and after passing a parabola in the air, it landed on a piece of grass not far away. At this moment, Right Nosla, who was far away in Camby Town, looked at the silent phone with a frown. In the first 10 minutes, Sari called him to report that he was approaching the periphery of Evan's manor, but the phone has remained silent until now. This was what he had requested before, and within 10 minutes or so, he would make a phone call to Right Nosla to explain the current situation. 10 minutes later, Sari still hasn't called. This had to make Right Nosla feel that something was wrong. After waiting for a while, seeing that there was still no movement on the phone, Right Northra called back. Beep beep beep. No one answered. Has been discovered. Right Nosra knew right away that Sari should have been spotted, and most likely killed. So Right Nosla hurriedly sent a text message to Linmo to explain the situation. It has not been long since Suri lost contact, so even if Fei Lei Shen Kanai is thrown away by the Evans family, it should not be thrown too far away. Didi. Still in the backyard of the villa, Linmo, who was guiding Nyan's training, felt the vibration of his phone. He picked it up and looked at it a few times. Oh, it seems that those mercenaries are quite a bit of a bum, and they were killed without even getting the news back. Because Linmo had specially instructed him to throw Fei Lei Shen Kanai in a safe area. With Right Nosla's caution, he should not let his subordinates arrange in-depth arrangements, which means that the monitoring range of the group of mercenaries can at least spread out a short distance outside the station. Nyan, let's rest for a while, the master has some things to do, so I'll give you a vacation. Linmo knew that he would be lazy if he wasn't around Nyan. That being the case, it might be better to give her a holiday with integrity. Yeah, master is the best, moi. Hearing Linmo say that there is no need to exercise, Nyan immediately jumped up from the facility and ran to Linmo's side, drooling in his face. Linmo touched Nyan's little head, then put his hand on the table next to him, and visualized some snacks from his previous life. Well, Nyan has been so good these past 2 days, these are your rewards, the master should go to work first. Go master. Nyan, who saw the snacks, immediately turned his attention to the snacks. Ouch. Linmo flicked Nyan's small forehead angrily. You little slick, if you have snacks, you forget about the master. Nyan covered his forehead with a little red mark popped by Linmo, and pouted. Nyan doesn't have it. Seeing Nyan's cute appearance, Linmo squeezed Nyan's cheek. Okay, eat it, the master will come back when he goes. Then Linmo flashed white light and disappeared in place. It seems that the light of the god of thunder depends on the color of the hair, right? Linmo suddenly appeared next to Fei Lei Shen Kue, who was lying alone on the lawn. Looking at the burning vehicle not far away, Linmo touched his chin. It seems that the offensive power is quite good. No wonder Bart was almost killed by the opponent. And their detection range is about .500, not about 700 meters, maybe even more. After Linmo roughly visually inspected the distance between the car and the manor, he calculated. This distance range is definitely not a circle. Even my current air volume can't cover such a wide range. In that case, it's Nen. Thinking about it, Linmo pinched a fly next to him. Congeal. After concentrating the air volume on his eyes, Linmo laughed at the slight air volume wrapped around the fly. It turns out that it is through such a method, a good auxiliary ability. The bombing space ability of the fingertips is activated, and the entire fly is directly cut off. Boss. The cataract in Evan's manner suddenly stood up and flew the happy-looking woman out. It's a master. My little cutie was discovered directly by the other party. Adam was much gentler than Cataract, but he just patted the girls who were leaning on him with his left and right hands, signaling that they could leave. After the others heard the words of the Cataract, they also stopped exercising and stood up. Adam looked at his teammates with a grin on his face. Brothers, come and live. After putting on his clothes, he asked the Cataract, how many people are there? The last picture is one. I haven't seen anyone else, and I'm mobilizing the little cutie from other areas. Oh, Adam raised his eyebrows, a little surprised that the other party dared to come alone. He believed that the other party should know that they were a whole mercenary group, and that they had returned alive last time, so it was impossible not to know them. Dare to come alone if you know. Then there are only two possibilities, either an idiot or an absolute master. Since the other party can discover the cute Cataract so quickly, then the first possibility can be ruled out, which means that the other party is definitely a master. Glancing at the team members who were already wearing their equipment, Adam said solemnly, brothers, it's hard stubble, take your place and try to take them away. Yes, big brother. At this moment, they completely lost their debauchery. Everyone's body exudes the breath of iron blood. Although playing them is serious, but working they will only be more serious. Lin Mo strolled along the road leading to the Evans family estate. With the experience of destroying the Fanobi family last time, Lin Mo knew that it was better to let them come to the door than to find them one by one. Hello, you, which family are you from? What are you doing in our Evans family? On the way, a team of guards saw Lin Mo's calm and dignified appearance in the mountains and waters, and that expensive suit. For a while, he was a little confused whether Lin Mo was the eldest young master who came to talk about things on behalf of the family. Oh, that's right, I'm barely part of the Nasla family, and this time I came here to kill you or be killed by you. During the speech, Lin Mo did not exude any murderous aura, and the expression on his face was still very flat, and at the same time he answered their questions very politely. What did you say? The guard looked stunned for a moment, saying that I heard it wrong, or did you say it wrong? Didn't you react? Then, how about this? PFF'd. Lin Mo launched bombing space in his hand, and with a wave of his right hand, he directly cut off the head of a guard who was also stunned next to him. The blood fountain spewed out in front of them, feeling the warm blood on their faces, and the others finally reacted. Enemy attack! Enemy attack! At the gate of the manor. Nasla's people are here again. The leading guards pulled up the walkie-talkie on their chests and started roaring. Others picked up their machine guns and fired at Lin Mo. Firelight and bullets continued to shoot at Lin Mo. I said, don't you gangsters have any other means? It's okay to throw a grenade here. Lin Mo was a little bored and started the unlimited spell again. But this time, he didn't plan to wait for them to finish the fight. Anyway, the one who just took the lead had already notified the others on the walkie-talkie, didn't he? That is to say, they are already useless again. Lin Mo waved his right hand lightly, and the bullets that had been stuck in midair shot back towards them in the same way. I really hate when people shoot me. Puff puff. The sound of bullets tearing through the flesh suddenly exploded from the crowd, and blood continued to splash around. Monster! Monster! A member of the garrison who fell to the ground and had not yet fully breathed out his last breath. Monster! Monster! A member of the garrison who fell to the ground and had not yet fully breathed out his last breath. Humans always like to call things they don't understand monsters, Lin Mo said with emotion as he ruthlessly stepped over the corpses on the ground. Over there, quick, it's Nasra's again. Go and inform Adam them. It has been notified that they are on their way. After Lin Mo got rid of the guards in front of him, the guards around the manor gradually began to surround him. Oh, so the name of the leader of the mercenary group is Adam. Lin Mo murmured with some interest after hearing the shouting among the guards. To be honest, based on the situation just now, Lin Mo could roughly sense that this group of mercenaries was not weak. The detection range is wide, and it has a considerable degree of attack power, and it seems that it should belong to long-range firepower. These are just two of them. As a team, they should have both close combat and a certain degree of support. Just as Lin Mo's thoughts diverged, his surroundings were already surrounded by bullets shot at him. Lin Mo spread his arms and imitated pain's tone, Xinluo Tianzhang. In an instant, all the bullets bounced back. In Lin Mo's eyes, the quiet and well-behaved bullets all turned into scythes of death, and began to harvest life in the crowd. Seeing this scene, Jack, who was squatting in the attic of Evans Manor, chuckled lightly, chance. Immediately, he pulled the trigger. Boom! The strong recoil makes the dust accumulated in the attic splashed by large pieces. The bullet that wrapped Jack's thoughts suddenly shot towards Lin Mo's head at 4 times the speed of sound. However, when the bullet was about to hit Lin Mo, the speed became slower and slower. Until, like other bullets, it stopped 3 or 4 centimeters in the air in front of Lin Mo. Lin Mo looked at the sniper bullets that were still spinning with a thick layer of gas. So that's the case, is it a sniper gun? It's very mercenary style, is it a reinforcement? Some of them are from the release department. What? How could it be? Seeing that Lin Mo easily caught his own bullet without moving, Jack felt a little disbelieving. Didn't he just use his abilities just now? Just when Lin Mo saw the bullets of the surrounding Evans family members bounce back, Jack subconsciously thought that this was the case, is an opportunity. I thought that Lin Mo would definitely be too late to make a move, and he would definitely be able to make a perfect hit while taking advantage of this gap. Unexpectedly, Lin Mo is not the Nen they usually meet at all, he is a real monster. Lin Mo glanced at the direction the bullet came from, which was the attic of Evans Manor. It was this look that made Jack's hair stand up in shock. Oops, must be transferred immediately. Jack didn't forget how those underworld officers died just now. Even though he shot the bullet, the gas on it was his own. It doesn't mean that he can withstand his own attack. Jack, leave now. Adam's voice sounded in Jack's mind. I'm at ... Lin Mo didn't care what they were doing, and lightly raised his finger to point at the sniper bullet that was still spinning. A shock wave instantly erupted in the air, and the sniper bullet cut through the air at the same speed of 4 times the speed of sound and shot towards the attic. At such a speed, Jack didn't have time to escape at all, and the whole person was like sorry before, like a bursting watermelon, the whole attic was covered with flesh and blood. Jack was killed. Adam's gloomy voice sounded in the minds of the other members. This person is definitely not simple. What we can know now is that he has the ability to bounce other people's attacks, and this ability is visually 360 degrees without dead ends. Adam's voice continued to sound. Then how are we going to fight? Attacking him will be rebounded, what's going on? Johnny, the most hot-tempered main attacker in the team, was no longer shouting. No kind of Nen is invincible. His ability must have weaknesses, either in attack strength or in other aspects. Next, let me go together and gradually find out where his weaknesses are. In the case of insufficient information, Adam could only come up with such a method temporarily. Next, I will start the sharing of the 5 senses, combine the information we all feel, and try to find out his details as soon as possible. Okay, all the staff responded at the same time. After getting everyone's approval, Adam stretched out 2 fingers of both hands and placed them on the temples. Missing wave, 5 senses sharing, activate. Missing wave. This is Adam's Nen. As the head of Adam's mercenary regiment, he was never the strongest. On the contrary, if there is a fight, he may have to shoot in the countdown. But the reason why he can become the leader recognized by all the members is because of his powerful auxiliary Nen, thinking wave. Few people know, in fact, Adam is a trait of the Nen. The characteristics of his mind are biased towards the spiritual aspect. He developed Nen according to the thoughts of his own spiritual characteristics, which can connect the spirits of people together, so as to achieve the effect of heart to heart. Under normal circumstances, the thinking wave is just to convey what I think in my heart to others, but once Adam maintains absolute, the ultimate effect of thinking wave can be activated, sharing of the 5 senses. In the case of sharing the 5 senses, not only can people communicate with each other, but also what they see, hear, and feel can be shared. In this case, it's like they have opened the eyes of reincarnation. The tacit understanding between everyone is like one person, and everyone will completely become a whole. In such a state, the power they exert is not a superposition like 1 + 1, but a multiple growth. Not to mention the cataract in their team, who is a operating system auxiliary Nen. can add his own thoughts to small creatures, at the expense of his own eyes, so as to gain their perspective. Once the five senses are shared, the rest of the team members can get the same vision that cataracts can see. In this way, they will be equivalent to gaining the perspective of God. This ultimate state has always been the basis for them all the way to today. After Lin Mo reflected Jack's attack back, he stepped over the corpses left on the ground, and came to the real gate of Evans Manor within a few steps. Bombing space. Lin Mo raised his right hand and slashed directly at the gate. Cut a huge gap directly into the door. After turning his head slightly and entering the manor, Lin Mo saw 5 men wearing uniforms. At this moment, they were looking at him with solemn expressions, and they were vaguely surrounding him. It seems that they should all be members of Adam's mercenary group. A bald tattooed man, a cataract, a long-haired non-mainstream man, a glasses man and a black-haired little juntai. Lin Mo glanced at the 5 of them a little, and put a label on each of them. In addition to the ability to rebound attacks, there is also the power to corrode or melt substances. A thought flashed through the hearts of the 6 at the same time. From the way Lin Mo entered the manor just now, they could probably judge that in addition to Nen, who could bounce other people's attacks out, Lin Mo also had a rather powerful psychic ability in his hands. These 2 abilities are offensive and defensive, and they are both quite powerful abilities. Try it out first. They have the same mind but share the 5 senses, and even avoid eye contact with each other. Without saying a word, the bald tattooed man took out a sledgehammer from behind and strode towards Lin Mo. At the same time, glasses men and long-haired non-mainstream people also began to take action. The glasses man's hands manifested 2 pistols, one black and one white, and, bang bang. At Lin Mo were 2 guns. The long hair is not mainstream, and it is quickly circled, and the chi in his hand suddenly becomes as sharp as a knife. Enhancement, embodied in transformation. At the moment when the 3 of them shot, Lin Mo judged their respective thoughts. Coupled with the cataract, he should be the one who manipulated the bug as a monitor. It should be manipulation system. The remaining black-haired little juntai has not yet shot, and I don't know what police department will be. Lin Mo didn't panic at all about the attack of the 3 of them, instead he joked. Don't you mean to communicate? Lin Mo didn't even have the slightest intention to dodge, so he just stood there ready to take their attack. Unlimited spells. Not surprisingly, the attack of the 3 was held in midair by Lin Mo's unlimited spell. Sure enough, it's a 360-degree defense with no dead ends. The 3 who confirmed this immediately retreated. The bald tattooed man released the hammer in his hand very decisively. The non-mainstream long hair is to disperse the gas condensed in the hand. Seeing them make such a decisive judgment, Lin Mo immediately redirected the 2 bullets shot by the man with the eyes to the bald tattooed man and the long-haired non-mainstream man. Facing the bullets shot at him, the expressions of the bald tattooed man and the non-mainstream long-haired man did not change in the slightest. When the bullet was about to hit the 2 of them, it suddenly changed direction and shot at Lin Mo again. This is their second test to see where the limits of Lin Mo's defense are. The bullets fired by the firearms embodied by the Eye Man can freely control the direction, so that they are not afraid of being used by Lin Mo in turn. Lin Mo's eyes narrowed. Oh, a bullet that can bend, it's quite interesting. Immediately withdrew the infinity spell on his body, and turned to condense the bombing space in his hands. He was ready to cut off the 2 bullets that were refired at him. Since it is a bullet that can freely control its direction, the unlimited spell will have no effect. That's right, Lin Mo can only use one ability at a time. Because the spatial characteristics of each Nen are different, and the power of Lin Mo's ability is mainly achieved by Krypton's life. It's not through a deep understanding of space, so Lin Mo can't maintain 2 abilities in his body at the same time. Maybe in the future, Lin Mo can do it after he has a deeper understanding of space. But for now, he can't do it. Chance. The black-haired little juntai saw that Lin Mo raised his head, and immediately judged that Lin Mo was planning to use an offensive ability, and a gleam of light flashed in her eyes. I saw that the black-haired Xiao Zhengtai opened a large amount of qi in his hand, and with Xiao Zhengtai's palm pushing, a column of thought qi, which seemed to be quite powerful, slammed straight towards Lin Mo. Excellent analysis. Lin Mo looked at the black-haired little juntai with a hint of approval in his eyes. In fact, What Lin Mo didn't know was that all the above actions were actually carried out by Adam hiding in the dark. Adam may not have any talent in combat, but his fighting mind is unparalleled. However, you are still too naive. The difference in strength between us cannot be made up by this little bit of ingenuity. After cutting off 2 bullets with his right hand, Lin Mo's left hand also slashed in the direction of the black-haired Xiao Zhengtai. A space vault suddenly appeared in front of Lin Mo. The next second, Lin Mo suddenly appeared in front of the black-haired little Zhengtai. Without a trace of movement, when their brains received the information from their eyes, Lin Mo was already standing here. You know, after opening the 5 senses sharing, they are now in the state of God's perspective, and they are constantly observing Lin Mo. Exclamation mark, exclamation mark, exclamation mark. The brain is shaking. Under Adam's missing wave, 5 senses sharing, everyone can clearly feel the sense of oppression and fear when facing Lin Mo up close. At this time, the admiration in Lin Mo's eyes had turned numb, and he looked at the black-haired little Zhengtai like he was looking at a dead man. Although you've done a pretty good job, it's just not bad. Puff. The right hand ruthlessly crossed the head of the black-haired little Zhengtai. Wherever Lin Mo's right hand goes, the entire space is destroyed and collapsed by the power of his bombing space. The fragile head of the black-haired Mrs. Zheng was involved in the destruction by the collapse of the space and disappeared without a trace. The fountain of blood started gushing out. In Adam's world, strategic wisdom was everything. Before he opened the chanting, he used his own mind to kill an N person. Therefore, in his view, the strength of an individual has a limit. And only wisdom is infinite. As long as you use everything around you reasonably, you can easily kill powerful people even if your power is relatively weak. There is no one who is absolutely invincible. As long as it is human, it will inevitably have weaknesses. As long as this weakness is found, no matter how strong a person is, they can be defeated. This is what Adam has always known. The teammates he chose may not have a very good performance in combat, but they definitely have their own specialties. Under their various shadows, countless powerhouses died in their hands. However, the appearance of Lin Mo broke his cognition so abruptly. Monster. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.